This is the stuff dreams are made of. I'm writer-collector Ryan Condal.
And I'm writer-collector Dave Mandel. Hey, Ryan, how are you?
Good morning, Dave. It's very early over here.
Good evening. We're in for a treat, everybody. No need. You don't put it on fast speed because I'm going to be going pretty fast anyway because I am wide awake. Yeah.
Hitting his
prime.
Nice,
we also had a very nice, it's Memorial Day weekend here on the States, as we say, and a lovely getaway. So I actually am very well rested for once. But
good.
We have so much prop store catalog to get to. I feel like, as much as I would like to idly chat and say hello to you, I feel like we must start this show because there's so much, it's insane. We have to get to. So let's just do the quickest what's new in props ever, and I will say to you, what is new in props, Ryan? Anything new in your world of props?
Well, I would say what's new in podcast, first of all. So
Ooh.
I did yesterday. I apologize if my voice is a little off because not only is it extremely early, but I sat in the BTS interview chair yesterday for 7 hours.
Oh my god!
Because I had avoided it up until basically the last minute because I've been so GD busy. And
was that taking them through every episode and the whole, like, how you got involved and how every facet of the whole thing? Wow.
From September 2018 when I had lunch with George down to what's episode 10 about. So it was a marathon, and I was absolutely brain dead leaving that thing and coming home. But on my way out, the guy was like, he's like, you're really good at this. You speak in like perfect sound bites and exactly what we need, and you're editable. And I said, you see, the podcast has borne some fruit.
It has some value.
I don't know that
some value.
That would have been the case, 2 years ago before we started this.
Funny enough, I think, when you look back on our first episode, again, there's nothing wrong with it, but I think, where we are now, it's sort of like, well, obviously we prep next to nothing at this point. Not that we were doing a lot of prep before, but now we've just thrown all prep out the window, and it's just sort of like, you want to just record one? Yeah, let's record one. But no,
yeah. I take that to mean that the prep was actually slowing us down.
No.
It's better. We're better on prep.
We needed the prep, but I think it was sort of a crutch in a good way. But now I feel like we sort of know what this is, and we've gotten very used to sort of putting these things on and talking into one of these microphone things. Anyway, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing, I will simply say. Yeah. We had a very nice. Are you happy, by the way? I should say, with everything you talked about. You feel good about
I mean, it was very thorough. And they seemed happy. So that's good.
It's good to do it while it's fresh, because I will tell you, obviously, the important things will stay with you. The little details will fade a little bit. And it's good to kind of get them down, a couple of times right now, as opposed to 20 years from now. And you're like, I remember there was a scene that was making us crazy, or whatever the story is. You know what I mean? So right. I think that is a good thing. We had Dave? I'll get to one thing that I think you'll get a kick out of, but I did want to say we had a really nice email based on our book show. We've had actually a couple of them, but this was the first one that came in, which was really cool. We had a very nice email from Patrick Donahue, listener, fan of the show. And he really enjoyed the book episode, and he brought up The Making of King Kong, the 1976 book. It was the book that got him to buy a Bolex and start doing stop motion in high school. A real fave for him, and that's really cool. I know that exact book. It's a wonderful hardcover. I think it may be out of print, but very findable at a very reasonable price, and just gorgeous. And again, when you think about that book, when you think about King Kong, getting made when it did, it's pretty insane. So that's just kind of.
Are you a fan of that movie?
Wonderful. The original King Kong, 76 or the remake?
Well, the 76. 76.
I am, only because, I was 6 years old and I saw it before I ever knew there was another King Kong. So it holds that sort of nostalgia place for me. Although I did watch it like at the beginning of COVID to see if I should show my children, and I decided not to. So somewhere that's sort of an answer. How's that for an answer? Did you see that, or did you ever just see the original? or both?
I think I actually saw the original first because they were
Okay.
both so far afield from
Probably
me.
better.
Yeah.
Probably better to see the original
Yeah.
first.
And
But
really dug that the original, just
yeah.
because even though I knew so little about movie making at that point, I knew that was that was very old movie making, and I just saw all the kind of handcraftedness of it,
Yeah.
and I think I just really enjoyed all that stuff. Yeah.
I think the monkey looks fantastic in the 70 70
Yes.
whatever it is, 76 King Kong. I think he looks fantastic. Um the cast is, really good cast. Obviously it's a little quasi racist. I guess they both are kind of a little bit.
Yeah.
Perhaps not the take on natives one would do. I'm not even sure I'm supposed to say the word natives anymore. So it has a little something to be desired in terms of that. It's a little, I don't know, just kind of melodrama-y and a little kind of whatever in places.
Yeah.
But the monkey looks good.
Yeah, it's like
which
very
is,
70s
yeah,
disaster movie, right? In the
that's a
way that
very good
it's,
way of, I think, approaching it. Yeah, very sort
yeah.
of its time. But again, ape looks good, and that's kind of neat and a lot of fun. I can tell you, much in the sort of realm of my monkey radiator caps. Big fan of all the various like banks and other products that they made sort of connected in like the mid 70s to King Kong. There's a lot of good ape and ape toys that I definitely have in my collection. Not so much like mint and perfect, but just kind of fun stuff to just kind of have
Yeah.
around, like banks and stuff. Actually, hold on one second. You're going to like this. Hold on really quick. It's right
Oh my
here.
goodness. We have show and tell guys on the stuff dreams are made of.
Check
Very
that out.
exciting. It's coming back. Oh, that's awesome. It's a bank?
Yeah.
He
Isn't that
doesn't have
kind of
his
cool?
headphones
So
on.
that's a
That's a bank?
bank. If you're watching on
Yeah.
YouTube, you can see this thing. This one's in really nice condition. It's got the bottomy thing on there, which the money
That's perfect.
holder in, whatever. But King Kong Bank, no date, of course, no name, no nothing. Oh wait, nope, there is. Look at that. 1977 by RKO General Inc. Relic Art Limited, Brooklyn, New York. So there you go. So
Great.
1977 King Kong Bank. So I am a fan of all things sort of gorilla monkey related, and therefore that one. So that's a
Yeah,
great
Dave.
book. And oh, go ahead. Yeah.
That one looks ready to just be mounted to the front of your Maybach.
The
It
problem
looks like
is
you
if
could just plug it right
you
in.
wish you could, but it would melt. That's my fear. This is too much a treasure to have it right on the top of my antique Nazi car. The other books that Patrick threw out there, which I think were kind of cool, was The Making of Star Trek, which is another great one.
Yes.
And obviously raved a little bit about Cinefex magazine, which I think is another. It's funny. It's one of those sort of almost like no-brainers that we forgot to mention. It was so obvious. You know what I mean? I feel stupid having not mentioned it, but obviously Cinefex, especially for, the big 70s and 80s and even to the 90s, I guess I'm sure into today, the genre movies, to me, they're
Yes.
almost like must reads. It was sort of like
Yes.
first Lord of the Ring comes out, you got to pick up the Cinefex that talks about whatever the movie that was coming out that was sort of blowing your mind. You really sort of had to pick up that issue as soon as it was available. And so, yeah, that's a duh, but thank you, Patrick, because it's too good to have not mentioned is the
Yeah, and
honest
those are
answer.
worth,
Yeah.
if you have a specific title that you're into or researching, definitely worth tracking down on eBay, or I don't even know where else you'd find them. eBay is probably the best
I would
source for them.
1,000% Cinefex. If you are listening, and I don't know if it exists, and maybe I should look, or someone tell me it exists. If there was an online, I could have them all, or on some digital version of them
Oh
all, or
yeah,
access to them all digitally. I would pay whatever, be it to them, to a Kickstarter, whatever it was. I would go crazy. I'd be the happiest guy alive with that. That would be
yeah.
fantastic. Or if some lunatic has like illegally scanned them all and put them online somewhere, I'm open to that too. So let us know.
Yeah, we'll pay a lunatic too. We have no
exactly.
scruples.
If you're a lunatic and you're looking to earn very little money, you let us know, because we've got
That's right.
we've got some scanning for you to do. I did pick up a prop this week that I'm pretty excited about. It's a small one, and I don't always go that way, but I thought you of all people would get a kick out of it. It's a small, I don't know what, I guess it's like sort of the coin of the realm. So it's a little coin. I wish I had it here. I could hold it up and show it, but we'll put a picture up. But it's a coin from a show. It hasn't come on yet. It's called House of the
Ah,
Dragon. It's going to premiere in the
oh,
fall. Yes, so congratulations, Ryan. The first props stolen from your set have started to show up on eBay. A coin from House of the Dragon on eBay, yeah. So
it's
congrats.
it's a big moment in a young boy's life.
I almost wanted to have it.
I'm
I wanted to
touched.
send it. I wanted to send it to you to win, so that you could then, when it was like the guy was like, "What's your name and address?" and you could be like, "Ryan Condell, care of the House
Just
of the Dragon production office in Lansdowne, England." That sounds like an English
yeah,
place.
send it to
Lansdowne,
House of
doesn't
the
it?
Dragon, care of Red Keep. Yes, send
Oh
it to
four
executive
six three
producer.
seven. Yes, exactly.
Executive
Executive
producer Ryan
producer's
Condon.
office.
Yeah,
I think that would
that's
have been
good.
really funny. So yeah, so congratulations. That's what's new
Thank
in
you.
props. Yeah,
That is actually that's amazing. I mean, that's
the first of many, I'm guessing. Yeah.
that's a milestone. That's a crossing of a Rubicon.
No, it's definitely crossing a Rubicon, but also I think I believe it will be the first of many, and I'm guessing at least a chance to get an original, because it did look original, as opposed to what I'm guessing will be the sea of fake props that are coming forth that people are trying to pawn
Yes,
off as having come from your set. So
yes.
either way,
I'll
pretty
be
cool though. Yeah.
authenticating left and right, I'm sure. I shall we dive
Let us
into
dive
the
in. Please turn to page. On the PDF, it's 180, but on this thing, it's 300
357 of the catalog? And
357 of the catalog, to the beginning of day one, which is, I'm sorry, day two, I should say, which is June
yes,
22nd, 2022. We'll be beginning with lots 486 through 965. But buckle up, because we are going to be moving very, very quickly, dare I say.
yes,
With no offense to any of the fine props, I think we're going to be moving very quickly, and
yes. We want
but
to.
there are some good things. There are some many good things, but maybe not as many things as where you and I are interested in. Can we say that? Is that a good
Correct.
way of saying it?
Yes, correct. I think the hit rate is going to be lower going through here, but there are some real gems and some real good things for starter collections, or just little pieces that that you don't have to take out a second mortgage on your house to buy, like you might have had to on day one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it'll be a good one to cook through, and
So yeah, so hopefully open up your catalog.
about
You may actually have your, I think my actual like actual print catalog showed up at my other address, so I have to get that. But
oh
if you're
cool.
listening to this, you may actually have your catalog in hand. So please open it up to lot 486, and we will begin with Helga Svenglin's Charlize Theron, my next door neighbor's Bloody Leotard from 2 Days in the Valley. I think she would appreciate that as a housewarming gift of some sort. But
Yeah,
and we're off. We're off.
yeah.
Yell where to stop. I'm just going to
I
yell out
actually do.
things as we go.
I
Yeah,
actually do love
please.
that movie. I have to say it's a great
It's
little
actually a very
slice
fun
of
movie. It's
like
nothing I've ever wanted to own a prop from, but a very fun movie. I
right,
agree with that. Yeah.
but like 90s kind of
Yeah.
LA noir.
Sort of the post Pulp Fiction movies that kind of came
Yes,
out. It seemed like that was what that
but
seemed like.
one of the more worthy ones, I think.
Yeah.
That wasn't just a
It
straight
was like 2 Days in
pastiche.
the Valley, Seven Heads in a Duffel Bag, a lot of
Yeah,
movies with the numbers in them, I think, as I
yeah.
remember it.
Okay.
Some Adams Family value and Adams Family stuff, fun props, not my
Love those movies.
cup
Yeah.
of tea, but fun props. There's something I would stop at 498, which I think is just kind of interesting. It's an Alfred Hitchcock Presents. I don't even know what it is. It's an office projection screen, I guess, from Universal Studios, like that they must have used to promote Alfred Hitchcock Presents from his old
Yeah.
anthology show in the late 50s and early 60s. Um,
Oh,
Again,
it looks like it was made visible for the tour. This guest on the
for the
studio
tours
tour.
as people were going by.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of stuff from the tour. You don't, as a rule, see anything much connected to Alfred Hitchcock in general. Like mostly, I feel like someone actually was asking me about this the other day. My friend Brian Peck, not to be confused with the actor or the prop, not prop guy, but the there's I think an effects guy too, or an actor named Brian Peck. But anyway, and he was asking about Hitchcock stuff. The only thing I've ever seen from Hitchcock is like some costume designs. And so I don't know, just to see something even vaguely connected to Alfred Hitchcock is kind of neat. Some
Yeah, I agree. That's a good one.
Alien storyboards, 501, Aliens crew jacket. That's kind of
Those are
neat.
cool. Yep.
Talked about
Good bug
those.
stomper jacket. Yep. Alien
We're
3
kind of into
storyboards.
Aliens 3, lots of Aliens versus Predator and all of that stuff. That's not my favorite. In the 511, 512, 513, this connects to that day one. This looks like more stuff from Willard Huck and Gloria Katz connected to American Graffiti. It's a various autograph things. There was that paperback on day one. Various crew shirts, buttons, and whatnot. Again, a movie I love, so that's really fun. You
Yeah,
yell
that's cool.
whenever anything comes up for you.
That's actually
Armageddon.
511 is actually cool because it's the radio station poster from American Graffiti. So I guess it was used. Universal printed rare theatrical poster variants with extra space in the margins for inserting regional market promotion. So I guess they would hang these in
Which
radio
makes
stations. So these
sense.
are
And I think
sort of
someone
like
said
those
to
subway
me
posters that they
that
used to
this is
do,
the
kind of where they.
original that this is the original version, and that Wolfman Jack, I don't think this says this in the description, but this is my understanding. Wolfman Jack is very prominent on these, and which would make sense for the radio stuff, and then he was less prominent in the marketing of the movie itself. He's an important character, but you actually don't get to obviously see him in the movie till the end. Sorry, spoiler alert. And
Yeah.
so I don't know if that was they removed him on purpose or what, but anyway, very neat sort of variant, and I think very rare in the grand scheme of graffiti posters.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. I'd
more
actually never seen that one before. Yeah.
more Anchorman,
Some Ron
more
Burgundy stuff.
yep, Back to the Future stuff. Interesting odds and ends. I like the Hill Valley Police sticker from the
Yeah.
door. A Bifco napkin. Uh, some
A
Batman
Bifco
hand-drawn
currency note. Yeah.
storyboards. Those are fun. Bat
Those are
disc,
cool.
the
I
thing
mean,
that shoots
look,
out.
I love hand-drawn storyboards generally, especially from, I mean, these are major titles here on day two. So I think there's a chance here at 535 through 537. I mean, these are hand-drawn storyboards
And
from
if
the
you look
production.
at
I mean,
them, I mean,
that's a
I'm
chance
looking and
to,
I'm looking a little small, but there's some nice ones. I mean, the bat signal over Gotham, Batman sort of standing on the
yeah,
edge of a building. It's also something to think about, and I've done this before too, especially with storyboard lots. It's a good lot to possibly team up with a couple of friends, like reach out to a buddy and just sort of say, "Hey,
mm,
you want to sort of split that lot of storyboards, or whatever. I want that one. Hopefully, you want a different one, and then we figure out the rest, or we find a couple of people." But it's a really good way of making even, again, $800 to $1,200. There's 5 boards in this lot. That's not a bad price if it sticks to that number, which it most likely should. I guess that's all
yeah,
I'm saying. And that's
yeah,
a couple of really nice ones in there that would be a real nice beginning to a Batman collection, or a nice Batman piece to hang with other Batman things. Ryan Condal. So you could do that.
yeah,
Bunch of Batman Returns. I always like the Cobblepot for Mayor, the
yeah. Those are
I
cool.
guess Gotham Globe. That doesn't sound right. The Mr. and Mrs. Thomas Wayne murdered. It doesn't feel like the Globe should be the newspaper of Gotham, but I don't know. I don't know what it should be, but not the Globe, I'm gonna
What
say.
would it be? The Gotham
I don't know.
Times,
The Gotham, yeah, the Gotham Times,
Telegraph.
the Gotham Daily Picayune. I think it should be. Um,
There you go.
yeah. Um, let's see. We've got some Two-Face coins from Batman Forever. I'm just kind of moving along here.
Yep.
This is
I see
kind of neat.
553.
Yes,
Or
exactly
you
where I was
before me.
stopping. Yes, some
Yeah. Okay.
couple of nice. It looks like a couple from Doug Beswick, and then another one that's not. But sandworm pieces from Beetlejuice, something I think we've talked about in terms of previous auctions and whatnot. 553 is really nice looking. And when I get
That's cool.
nothing on day
Yeah.
one, I will be staring at that very much. So it's just really nice.
Oh, Dave, you're gonna do well.
I'll tell you a
This is
very
gonna
quick, funny
be
story. Got to stop really
big
quickly.
day for you.
So I went down to Star Wars Celebration. Prop store was set up down there, and they had the X-wing there. And they said jokingly, they've said to me that people kept coming up to them and being like, "Oh, that's the piece Dave Mandel's going to get." And I, of course, made the point. Yes, exactly. I made the point to them that nobody at Star Wars Celebration is a serious bidder on that X-wing, and that no one there at the celebration had like 2 nickels to rub together. That any serious bitter on that X-wing is definitely not at Star Wars Celebration. But I was glad to hear someone was watching, so that's a good
But you
thing.
were there,
Yeah,
Dave.
I was there for a day, yes, and I will
Are
tell
you
you, I was
not
there.
serious?
I was there. I was masked. Nobody in the goddamn place was wearing a mask. And on Friday night, I had my first, like, you tested positive for COVID nightmare. That's how freaked out I was being in a convention
Were you
setting.
wearing your Greedo mask?
I was wearing a KN95 that was pulled so tight to my head it was dug into my cheek. I had cheek lines for like 10 hours,
That's
and
good.
it
Yeah,
was
that's
very,
good.
very frightening. I'll leave it at that.
Your mask was so tight, you got monkeypox instead.
Exactly. 559 again doesn't look like anything that you necessarily remember, but this kind of is a little bit like with the bearer bonds in Die Hard 2. This is the Beverly Hills Cop, the German bearer bonds that the sort of the case revolves around, that Mikey shows up at Axel's house with, and they're like trying to sell them, and it's all connected to the cocaine deal. I do sort of love stuff like that, even though you wouldn't necessarily, you'd have to explain what it was, but I still think it's kind of great. So I'm a fan.
Bearer bonds were big in the 80s. You could actually start a whole 1980s.
Yes, the bearer bonds case of movie whatever.
Collection.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Some Blade Runner odds and ends, kind of fun to have a little piece of Blade Runner. Different pieces.
Etches and pieces of the cityscape and the Tyrell Pyramid and all kind of interesting looking things.
Breaking Bad underwear. Some hand-drawn, nice. 571. Where are you? Oh yes,
I was doing the hand drawn, the etching masters, so like the drawings that they use to go make the etches, which are sort of interesting, I guess, is production ephemera leading to the making of the film. I'm actually more interested in that than the etchings themselves, interestingly enough.
I kind of agree with that. I think it's sort of interesting to have more of the originals as such, wherever that fits in. There's a crap load of, including some Screen Match stuff, Breaking Bad stuff. I guess Better Call Saul is ending. This could be a good time to jump in if you're looking for some Breaking Bad stuff. But if you're a fan, I mean, I think any one of these things looks like both a reasonable number, and certainly these are all, I mean, I'm just looking at them, lab equipment, Los Pollos Hermanos. It's just stuff you remember. That's the easiest way.
Some Jesse shirts and things. And like, to me, you don't have to buy the best of the best from this to represent your love for that series. You can, because there was so much made, you can just get something that's unique to the series. I mean, to me, like 581, I love this. It's 20 feet long, so good luck displaying it. But it's the Los Pollos Hermanos restaurant sign. But it's very recognizable what it is.
588 bag of blue reasonable. Meth. That's a lot smaller, not 20 feet long. So that's something. But there is a lot. There's a solid, 10 plus lots of
it keeps going
stuff. Yeah, it keeps going, which is nice. Let's see what else. Oh, that's nice. I'm sorry, 598. We always talk about comedy stuff. It's a little hard. It's the box of memories that Kristen Wiig gives in Bridesmaids, which again, a very fun movie and just kind of just a neat little prop, I guess, is what I was all saying.
That is fun.
Again, from a comedy movie, again, that doesn't have a lot of necessarily specific props.
Here's my collection
where are you?
From Cabin Boy.
Yeah.
You're
stopped
doing
601 really quickly. The Buck Rogers in the 25th century, the dress uniforms with the red sash.
Yeah.
Very memorable to anyone born in 1970, such as myself. But the Beswick Cabin Boy stuff is very fun. The Chris Elliott movie featuring a David Letterman cameo. That's the puppet. That's the merman puppet, or fishman. I don't know what he is, but yeah.
Such a bizarre movie.
Such a wonderfully bizarre movie. Yeah.
That line from it, that soon I will be a cabin man. That's the only thing that I could quote to you from that movie, but it made me laugh when I watched it in the 90s.
A bunch of Castaway stuff, Golden Ticket from the Charlie Chocolate remake. I've seen Golden Tickets from the original, but that's kind of neat if you've ever been looking for one of those. Chicken Run,
Charm, love Chicken
some
Run.
Chronicles of Riddick stuff, and I mean, again, those things show up, but again, nice looking. I always think they look good,
Yeah.
The Clash of the Titans remake. Cliffhanger, Clifford. I'm moving quickly. You tell me to stop if at some point. I'm going to stop at
Yeah.
637 because it's a favorite of ours. We've
Yeah.
got one of the snake amulets from Conan the Barbarian, and then in 638, the Ron Cobb original art drawing for one of the snake amulets. And I think whether you need both or maybe you have an amulet and want the art, that is a really, really cool piece. Both of them are really cool,
Yes.
separately or together. I like that very much. Yeah.
Yeah, that's your ID badge for getting into the Snake Temple. You just flash it at the door and you're in.
And Ron Cobb, the designer on Star Wars, Conan, Back to the Future.
Alien.
There's an art
Yep.
book of his finally coming out, I believe,
Yes.
this
in the
summer, which I'm very excited about. Which
Yeah.
are, it's been one of these guys that you've sort of been waiting for somebody to do the definitive book, as opposed to the old out of print books of his own from many, many years ago. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. And then Dave, another really cool Conan lot, 639. One of the headdresses from the Cult of Set, which actually is rarer probably than the amulet because not everybody had one of those, and they're just really cool because they have the snake embroidery or the patterning going on that sort of that detailing.
Yeah, the sort of the whatever that is,
headband
but yeah.
of it.
And by the way, all three of these would look incredible together. I mean, you could do
correct.
You could do the
That's a cool
headdress
Conan
with
collection.
the amulet, whatever. But that's a very quick, not too expensive, Conan kind of quickie collection in a really kind of wonderful way, I think, for wherever that works.
Yeah,
And again,
yeah,
a movie that obviously
lots.
we are partial to, so obviously we shout it out. A bunch of stuff from The Old Crow from 1994, which is a movie I like. I know a lot of people love. It's like some apartment building miniatures. I don't know if that's what people are looking for, but not a movie you see a lot from.
I love that
movie that people do like. So yeah.
I do that. I love that movie. I loved. I was big into martial arts back in that day, and martial arts movies. And Brandon Lee was just the man because he was the guy. Just like Bruce Lee did. That was unlike the Van Dammes and the Seagals of the world. He was the guy that was going to bring that all mainstream. And then the tragedy happened on The Crow. It was really, really sad. And but he was just. Go back and watch that movie, and then watch his previous movie, Rapid Fire, which is more of a kind of 90s.
That one I saw The Crow. I have to admit I never saw Rapid Fire, but he definitely seemed like from The Crow. He seemed like a star. Or would have been a star. I don't know how else you put that.
Total star, and I think he was like 26 or something. It's just really, really sad. Yeah. And but the in Rapid Fire, which is more of a plot wise, that movie is very much like a not direct to video, but sort of like 2 weeks in the theater and out from.
It's like a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie that he turned down.
Exactly, but not really. But I would say like a sort of run of the mill Seagal movie, just in terms of plot. But watch Brandon Lee in that movie. The guy is just radiating off the screen. Charisma, his skill, his martial arts ability. It's really, go back and watch that film and then watch The Crow. Just what a lost treasure. And I will also say a little anecdote from Ryan Condal's past as a screenwriter. I got to work a bunch for months with Alex Proyas, who was the director of
that's right. I remember that. Crow, yes, of course. Yeah.
On Paradise Lost when I was in Australia, my supposed to be first movie credit that sadly went away as they pulled the plug while we were in pre-production.
Ironically, your Paradise was lost. One could say.
Correct. I fell from grace. And as I said afterwards, John Milton has waited 350 years to see his film make it to production. I can wait a little bit longer. So no, it was wonderful working with Alex, and I was a huge fan of The Crow and Dark City and
Dark City.
Robot.
By the way, Dark City, a movie you very much do not see props from. By the way, I know a guy that has a couple of pieces, but you do not see much from that. Yeah, that'd be a fun
tuning.
One. Yeah.
Anyway. Carrying on.
Were you ever able to speak to, like, kind of ask him, be a little fanboy about Crow or Dark City at all? And
we talked about Dark City, and I was so young, I didn't know how to bring up The Crow, because how do you talk about that movie without?
No, I get that.
And I wouldn't have asked about that, but I was like, is that even something you can bring up with it? So I didn't.
No, I know.
Maybe I should have, but But no, we talked a lot about Dark City though, and I mean, just what a great guy. I mean, what immensely talented filmmaker, but just a really down to earth guy, and he's just like us. He loves film and filmmaking and loves the old stories. And we were there while Mad Max version like 2 was trying to get up and running in Australia, and we kept losing actors to them, and he was like, yeah, George Miller's trying to make another Mad Max movie in the desert. And it was, I mean, I just remember that going on because that also fell apart, so that it would eventually, that's the one that eventually moved to Namibia. Yeah. Anyway,
let's see.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Dave. Just trying to transition.
Yeah, no, I know, but not that interesting. Gun from The Departed. A couple of things from Dexter. Oh, shout out 663. Fwad's bloodied formal costume from The Dictator. That was the look-alike goat herder that Sacha Baron Cohen played both parts. Co-written by yours truly. Not great. Not a
co-written
film
by the great Jeff Shaver.
Exactly. And Aladdin's tracksuit. So this is your instant Dictator collection. If you win either of these, I will happily autograph them for you. 665 though, here's the other piece to your bearer bond collection. This is a diehard bearer bond to go with your Beverly Hills Cop one. That's kind of great. I like that. Instant bearer bond collection. Let's see. Die Hard with a Vengeance. Digstown.
I'm pouring more coffee, Dave. We're at lot 666, so
we've made it through 100, right? All right.
Yeah.
Digstown pants, dinosaurs, some Disneyland stuff kind of thrown in here. That's
I like this.
Which one?
I like this. Yeah. I mean, just the Disneyland stuff. So the Haunted Mansion 671, the Haunted Mansion Black Prince transparency set, which I guess is from
that's kind of neat. Yep.
The theme park attraction. And another 672, the Flying Dutchman, which might actually even be even better. The ghost ship.
Very neat. 674 is an original piece of art by Mark Davis, who is one of the big Disney guys and also designers of Disneyland. And his art is... people are obviously always looking for any chance that when you get to see his versions of the Pirates of the Caribbean, but a cool crocodile from, it looks like Club 33 Jungle Cruise. I don't know what this was, but it's a neat piece of art, and Mark Davis art is few and far between, and they ain't making anymore. So wherever that
I guess that was hanging in Club 33.
Oh, it was hanging, so it's not actual art, or is it actually a piece of original art?
But I think it is concept art from the ride that they just framed and hung up. So it's got both things going for it.
Got both things going for it. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
have you ever been to Club 33?
I have once.
Dave?
When I worked for Disney many years ago, I tried to get on the list through them to kind of become a member. And that was something that they did not have power to do, or at least not enough power for me. But I then was able to go, and it was certainly interesting, but I'm not sure I need to be a member, I guess is what I will say. The idea of it is a lot more interesting than the actual what it is. But I do think if you actually were a member and you get an opportunity to buy a lot of, like, they do a lot of limited edition collectibles, which I'm guessing you could pay for your membership by just selling in auctions all the time. Just like sort of get the collectible, put it to the side, the exclusive Club 33 Haunted Mansion blank or whatever, and then just, and then sell it later. The 681, 82, and 83, Dave Mandel's Dr. Seuss's The Cat in the Hat.
Yes.
So some treasured items from that not great movie.
I
ahead.
I really like 682. I just like his spayed and neutered certificate for the cat, and it just says The Cat in the Hat on it. That's a funny prop. That's funny.
Fair enough.
That's funny, Dave. There is funny in that film.
Not what it should have been. We'll leave it at that, and we'll
my
keep
children
going.
love it.
Yep. Perfect. Couple of ET items, the Eagle, Edge of Tomorrow. Again, nothing. I'm kind of moving quickly because nothing is killing me here.
Some cool concept art from Edward Scissorhands. I mean, if you buy the Scissorhands in day one,
which looks like some sort of a hand-drawn piece, which is nice. The other ones look a little more. Well, I guess there's some sketches and brown lines. So there are some originals here. But the 693 one does have the scissor hands on it, which is kind of cool. So that's something. That's kind of neat. Elf Shoes, Elvira, End of Days, a Schwarzenegger movie. that for me was kind of the end of the sort of what like my childhood Schwarzenegger movies. I remember thinking, oh, end of days, Schwarzenegger's going to fight the devil, and it just wasn't what I wanted it to be. Sorry. So
Yeah, that one was sort of a bummer. Yeah.
let's see what else. Another End of Days, some Equalizer, ER, some TV stuff.
Yeah.
Evita,
Should,
Executive Decision. What? You go ahead. I'm just going.
well,
You
I was
tell
going to
me.
say, should we talk? I mean, 704. I just love that movie, Enemy of the State. I mean, how, what, what a movie that was ahead of its time. I mean, when you talk about movies that just foresaw what was happening, I mean, this is a movie that very much, it was 1998, and that movie very much could have been made in 2018, 20
I
years
know what
later,
you
and
mean
been
in
super
terms of the
relevant.
topic and whatnot, but there's something
Yeah.
about, and again, look, a job's a job, but there was something about having Gene Hackman sort of do a version of his Harry Call character from The Conversation that I don't know, sort of
Yeah. Bothered you?
I guess, or I turn my nose up at it as some sort of, bizarre movie snob. I don't know. It just
Yeah.
like, I don't know, have the courage to be original. I don't know. Obviously, Gene Hackman's an incredible actor. I don't know. It just didn't need to be sort of the same cloth, I guess, or maybe it could have been a different actor, but I don't know. It bothered me on that level. I may be the only one, so that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, because it was 1998 and I saw it when I was like 19 years old. I hadn't seen The Conversation yet, so I got to see The Conversation.
So when you
with
saw The
like that
Conversation,
in
you were
the
like,
rear
"Oh my
view.
god, they ripped off Enemy of the
Yeah,
State." That's perfect.
yeah. It's like when I got really pissed off later on when I found out that Led Zeppelin had covered the Stone Temple Pilots and was really, I thought it was really hacky of them.
Why would they steal their sound? Yeah.
Yeah, dancing days.
No, again, it's an enjoyable movie, and in later viewings, I'm able to sort of just go, it's sort of very enjoyable unto itself. That has to be one of the Scotts, right? That's got to be a Scott, right? Or no? Is that a
I
Scott?
think it's Tony,
Is that
right?
Tony? Yeah, it's got to be Tony Scott. Yeah,
I'm making a
it's
face because I feel
yeah.
like if not,
If it's not Tony Scott,
not,
it's somebody ripping Tony Scott
it
off,
should
because that's
be.
what it feels like. Yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah.
It feels like it's like it feels very Tony
Francis
Scott.
Ford Coppola.
It's Tony Scott mixed with whatchamacallit, the other guys, the Top Gun producers. It's so very them. It's all of those guys. It's very all of those guys.
Oh yeah, Simpson and Bruckheimer.
So
yeah.
it's very like Bruckheimer, Simpson, Tony Scott.
Yeah.
It's very that.
Yes.
All right, we got to keep moving. We got so much stuff. Got to keep moving. Got to keep moving.
Expendables. Terrible movie made by terrible people.
Fast and the Furious chairbacks. A suit from 712. A suit from Evil Under the Sun. I always like Peter Ustinov as Hercule Poirot, but I'm not sure I need that. Some Fifth Element concept art in the 720, 726, 728, 729. Kind of fun.
That's neat. I like 726. I mean, that's just cool. The future city.
Yep. It's like a floating flying city. I guess it's the boat. Yeah. It's the cruise ship. It's a model of the cruise ship. By Jacques Ray, I guess a French illustrator, and a Sylvain Despretz, who's a very well-known French illustrator. 729, sorry. Graphic novels and whatnot. Let's
732. Great, kind of underrated, underwatched John Milius movie, Flight of the Intruder.
Yes. Which
is a really cool one, and sort of a, I don't know, cool early 90s, sort of 70s relic Vietnam film, but really interesting movie, written and directed by Milius, and this is a cool piece of concept art of the Intruder, 732.
Yeah, it's a really nice piece of art unto itself, like from whatever.
Hooper likes it.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Sorry, there's someone at the door.
No.
A whole bunch of Forrest Gump stuff. Little hand props, magazine props, different things. Bubba Gump Shrimp Factory.
These are all cool. Chairbacks,
Chairbacks. This all looks
741,
like it
Forrest
came
Gump.
from someone in production, but all very
Yeah,
cool stuff.
I like
Um,
the logo.
it's
I
funny.
like the chairback logo.
Yes, the chairback logo is nice with the bench. It's funny, that soundtrack, which spans like many, many decades. It's like it is a truly wonderful soundtrack of sort of everything in it. And right now, we're as I'm trying to pick occasionally some songs for this Watergate thing, White House Plumbers. It's sort of like I had to say to them, if anything, it's sort of like if it was used in Forrest Gump, we're not using it. Like no
Just
song
pass.
that
Yeah.
appears there, like it just though all of those songs were so well chosen, they've become almost the commonplace 70s. You know what I mean? It's like you just
Yeah.
can't use
Yeah.
them anymore in a very funny
Dave,
way.
I have to ask,
Yeah.
are you going to use the Zeppelin song?
What is the Zeppelin? Which one? So this is where my Zeppelin lack of knowledge. Which
Well,
Zeppelin
I
song?
can. I mean, I could
Or
make
you
some
mean any Zeppelin
recommendations to you.
song?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. But I mean,
oh,
they
I
were,
thought there was a specific one where you were about to inform me that they have one based about Watergate. I
about
was
the
gonna be
White
like,
House. No,
oh,
no. Is White House Plumbers in any way about sex with groupies or Lord of the
no,
Rings?
it's these guys were very much living in 1972 with a very sort of late 50s, early 60s
Mm.
outlook on life. So yeah, sorry
But are
about
you
that.
using
Yeah.
70s music, or are you using
Some
their
places, but
music, the
like
music
some
they would have listened
70
to?
like
Yeah.
70s show tunes, like at
Oh,
some
okay,
point,
okay,
like
okay.
things that they would listen to, and then a couple of things that are source that they're listening to either against their will or like in a place, but I'm not quite sure we're ready to spend the money on a Zeppelin song.
Okay,
I
okay.
think. I don't think so.
I could
Maybe
make
I'm
some
wrong. Maybe I'm
recommendations
wrong.
from like Physical Graffiti or Houses of the Holy.
I'm sure those are
Just
very reasonable. Very, very
look
reasonable.
look me up. Look
Yeah.
me up.
Um, G.I. Joe, Rise of Cobra, a bunch of G.I. Joe stuff. A lot of good props. Not my cup of tea movies, but I will give it up to them for having fun props that
Yeah, fun
people
props.
seem to like. So I'll give it up for that. Um, what the heck was Gemini Man? What was Gemini Man?
That was the movie that took like 20 years to make about Will Smith traveling back in time and fighting his
Oh,
younger self.
right. And at some point, it was going to be like that might have been a Bruce Willis movie at some point a million years
Yeah,
ago,
it was one
maybe,
of
or something
those
like that.
that
Yes.
was developed so long that basically every movie star, like Tom Cruise, was going to be Gemini Man. You can tell what era it was being developed in by the movie star that was attached to it. It's one of those.
Well, if you love that movie, they got a lot of props from Gemini Man.
Yeah.
Um,
I worked on one of those over at Fox called Selling Time. It was about this witch that essentially can give you more time to live if you give her your soul essentially.
okay.
And it was it changed the sort of the magical realism changed in the drafts as they went on, but it had been written previously for Tom Cruise and for Will Smith, and when it came to me it was a Zac Efron film, so you can tell how it was like 20 years of them trying to get that thing made,
That
and
sounds like
obviously
you sold your soul to a
never
witch. Yeah.
to Fox
um,
Studios because Daddy needed some props, Dave. Uh,
I
got to keep that
understand. Believe me, I
income coming.
understand.
It was actually
Um,
it was a fun job to work on because it's one of those it's like Groundhog Day, not Groundhog Day because you're not repeating things, but it is sort of that because there is a bit of a Groundhog Day element
trying to
in it,
figure
and
that out is very
the
fun.
calculus of the
Yes, I agree
writing
with
was
that.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's and when it's done well, it's great in a movie. Obviously, then when it's done poorly, you get those sort of terrible time travel movies that are just horrific.
correct. Yeah,
I'm at 775 through 777. These are a couple of gladiator pieces. They are by no means anybody's dream gladiator piece, but they're really nice. They're really well made. I love
yeah,
776 with the fish head sword on it, the hand drawn storyboard. Again, if that's a movie you like, these are four pieces. I'm sorry, there's a helmet as well, 774. These are really nice pieces that I feel like, again, maybe these are starter pieces, but these are great gladiator pieces, and the quality of the just from the various departments that made these things is just really high. I kind of really dig them, especially that fish head sword 776. I
yeah.
just think they're just really neat. I think there's some real value there. Just kind of fun. Um, let's see some Goonies stuff, a couple of It looks like blueprints from the Goonies, a 7th to 89 Steven Spielberg personal handwritten dialogue pass of the Goonies. That's kind of
Oh, that's
fun.
cool.
I kind of love the idea that he was just sitting there with a yellow pad and either punching it up at the moment of, or, you know, sending in notes like that. That's kind of very fun and just kind of cool that a guy like Spielberg would pick up a pen and just do it, which is kind of a
Yeah,
kind of a cool thing. Speaks to him. Um, Couple of gorilla heads from Gorillas in the
especially
Mist.
since he didn't even direct that movie, Dave.
Right. He was, I think, just a producer on that, right? That's a
Right.
Donner, right?
Yeah.
793 is one I dig. I
You're
love
skipping the
this movie.
gorillas?
The gorillas are fine, but they're okay. I don't know. They're babies or something.
How many gorillas can one man
How
have?
many can one man have? A million. But 793, Sean Connery's Waistcoat from The Great Train Robbery.
Yeah,
Really
good.
fun movie. A sort of again, one of these sort of overlooked post Bond, you know, pre Untouchables Connery performances that, you know, when people go back and remember, they'll see how good they were, kind of a thing. And
I've
he is
never seen
great.
that.
Oh,
So
it's
I need
great.
to
It's
do
great.
that's I need
It's
to do that. Okay.
actually what's his name? It's a Michael Crichton book, believe it or not. It's a
Oh
sort
wow,
of a
okay.
historical fiction based on, I think, on a real story. It's a really fun book. It's a heist movie, but a period heist movie. And he's just great in it. He's just fantastic. He's Sean Connery. I mean, it's what you want. It's kind of great.
That's wild.
Bunch of Hansel and Gretel stuff. I'm going to just kind of keep moving. I'm
Yeah,
going to
this was
stop at
from
80.
the dark reinvention period of
Yes.
I have a
Snow
dark
White,
reinvention
Hansel
of
and Gretel. What can we do?
Hansel and
Pinocchio,
Gretel.
but he's a serial killer.
Yeah.
Um,
My favorite was Snow White and the Huntsman 2, which didn't have Snow White in it, so it was just and the Huntsman 2.
and somebody else. Yeah. 807 starts a couple of Harry Potter pieces, including a couple of nice
cool.
pieces of marketing art that's kind of cool. So that's kind of neat. 808, 809, those are kind of very cool. What else do we
Hildebrand
have
painting
here?
for the trading cards.
814 stops me for 4 seconds. It's actually a Veronica Sawyer, Winona Ryder cow tipping skirt from Heathers, a movie I don't think
It's
I've
very
ever
specific.
seen anything from Heathers ever. And that is a very great scene in the Daniel Waters written screenplay. Michael Lehman directed Heathers, one of the great black comedies. 815, kind of wonderful. A Heaven's Gate clapperboard.
Wow, that is actually really cool.
Yeah, that is.
So, Dave, tell
I don't know how many days
our listening
behind they
audience.
were at that point.
Yeah, I was wondering if you can go back to the call sheets and figure out what day that was.
Day 700. Yeah. Heaven's
but tell
Gate,
the audience, Dave.
Heaven's Gate is sort of the movie that bankrupted Hollywood. Basically, Michael Cimino, who had done what's the Vietnam movie? Forgive me, the wonderful Vietnam movie,
Deer Hunter.
Deer Hunter, yes. I think this was his follow-up to that. He was given, you know, the keys to the kingdom, and he more or less decided to shoot a movie that, all joking aside, seemed to have only been shot during like the 10 minutes of magic hour each day. And basically, just the first modern movie to kind of get that pre-buzz, it's a disaster, it's so over budget. It was really the birth of what we live in now, which is just like, you know, where the rumor sort of reaches you before the movie does. And it actually is it's a very underrated movie because of what everyone thinks of it, and which I'm sure I've now propagated further today. But very famously brought down like regimes at, I think, Colombia. I mean, just a movie that sort of was a pivot point in Hollywood production. And there's something wonderful about it being a clapperboard, just because so much of that movie was about the schedule, I think. So I think that's really cool.
The story of that movie. Yeah.
Yes.
It was the end. I mean, that movie ended, even though it was made in 1981 or whatever, it was the end of the 70s. It was the end of that kind of new Hollywood, because that's when all the corporate guys came in and started putting the reins on all the budgets, and the day of the sort of maverick rogue filmmaker just doing whatever they want whenever they wanted was over.
Yeah, very much the director as king, all of those great 70s movies. All those guys sort of ultimately came crashing down. couple of odds and ends from The Hobbit, couple of Home Alone
Hmm.
pieces. I like 829, the Wet Bandits Escape
Yeah,
newspaper. I
yeah.
fond memories of that.
I showed the first Home Alone to my 6-year-old at Christmas this year, figuring that
Big
she was
hit
sort
or
of
scared?
ready for it. No, absolutely loved it,
Oh,
and
good, 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 good.
just watching her watch the third act sequence when they finally break into the house and he's setting off all the booby traps, and just watching her like cackle with
Yeah.
delight, seeing the guys get hit in the face with the paint can. It was like a moment of true joy in a dad's life, because it was just like, here's something new that you have no context for, and she just was absolutely in love with it, and
Oh, I'm glad. I'm
I
glad.
just loved it. Yeah.
That is excellent. 838, a clapper from the old TV series Hunter, starring Fred
Oh
Dryer.
yeah.
I watched a lot of Hunter back in the day.
Did you?
Yes. It was, I believe he was the runner up for Sam Malone against Ted Danson, and actually appears in the first or second season of Cheers as another sports guy on like the news who gets Sam Malone to come on and do like a week of like TV sports stuff. Anyway, but the runner up, as they say. So a little would not have gotten Hunter without it. Um, 847 is the cupboard keyboard to the cupboard that was sold on day one from the Indian in the
Oh, that's
cupboard.
cool.
Yeah,
Gotta
they've
get
got a
that.
couple of nice Raiders pieces, some things from the Kazanjian collection, a hat, a couple of
Nice crew
crew
hat. Yeah.
shirts, some story
I love those old
board
crew shirts. Yeah.
binders, a Well of the Souls rubber snake that looks like. That's kind of fun. Some Temple of Doom stuff, some production stills. I'm moving quickly. Some James Bond
861.
stuff. Where are you? Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah, the just playing cards from the casino in Goldeneye, which is
Yep.
my
Very
favorite of
nice.
the Brosnan films.
Oh, Vesper Lynd's business card. That's from the first Daniel
Oh, that's
Craig
cool.
movie. That's kind of nice. I love 867, which is from the JFK movie prop, the Oliver Stone JFK. It's the Lee Harvey Oswald with obviously,
The Life magazine. Yeah,
yes, exactly, with Gary Oldman as Lee Harvey Oswald on the cover. The one that
that's cool.
the shadows don't match. There's too many shadows, the suns and whatnot.
Yeah.
For those of you keeping score. Joe versus the Volcano with the Jump soda cans, which is not a movie you see much from. That's
Was that
869.
is that your volcano movie? No, your volcano movie is
No, my
Volcano.
volcano movie is Volcano. It's much
Okay.
simpler. It's just Volcano.
Okay.
Yes. Although I like Joe
Yes.
versus the Volcano.
Yeah.
Judge Dredd, fun props. Again, I don't necessarily think it is the best movie, but again, a lot of fun props. All the iterations, all the Judge Dredd movies have good props, I think. So.
Yeah, I was just talking about that with the guy that was producing our behind the scenes stuff, who's big 2008. He's English, so he's a big 2000 AD fan, and he was saying how that movie is actually perfect in terms of its production design. It's just it's the execution of Dredd, the character Dredd himself that is off with that movie, but that movie nails the 2000 AD look.
No, the look is fantastic. And then the later one, which I guess was called just Dread, right? Which has Carl
Yeah, the Carl Urban one. Yeah.
Carl Urban. He is a fantastic Dread and goes for it. And I like the movie a lot. I mean, I think it's really fun, but you can sort of feel them stretching the budget. You know what I mean? They didn't quite get to add, what's the word I'm looking for? There's not quite as much of the sci-fi in the world of that Dread. It's a little more post-apocalyptic because I think they went down and shot it like in South Africa or something like that. And so you feel the budget a little more there, I guess is all I'll say.
You do, yeah.
Which is a shame.
I mean,
and they talked about a
feels
follow-up
ripe.
that never happened. But sorry, go ahead.
Well, just that's a world that just feels ripe for the new kind of new television.
It
big
feels like
series
somebody
set in
could knock
2000
that out of the
AD.
park, whether it's with Carl Urban or not, but that you could do at this point now a great TV version, much in the way, whatever, Mandalorian, just to give an example of a show with a guy with a helmet. But
Right.
But seriously,
That's
I
a
mean,
guy
I
with a
really
helmet.
think you could, and you could finally get to some of the stories that they never have quite gotten to. They keep always sort of making these movies going like we're going to get to those good stories, but anyway. Some Jurassic Park stuff, 890,
LA
Sid
Confidential.
Hutchins, LA Confidential, and a Hush Hush, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a key prop to me from that film because it
Yeah, and
immediately
it looks a
speaks to
little
LA
bit screen
Confidential,
used, a little bit, like a little got a bend
the
in it there.
magazine.
That's kind of fun. So that's kind of neat. It's a shame it doesn't have something about like Jack Vincennes or one of the characters that you see in it, but still very fun, and all very hush hush. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
some Labyrinth storyboards. Drew
895.
Struzan. Yep, Drew Struzan, Last Action Hero poster concept sketches. Another movie that sort of broke Hollywood, but Drew Struzan originals,
Yeah,
few and far between. A great chance. And also a whole bunch of them. So you could actually, again, another great split them up kind of thing. 896. Never saw The Last Airbender, but it's an M. Night Shyamalan chairback, which is just kind of cool
that's
unto
cool. Yeah,
itself. Just that part of it. Um, I'm jumping to 902 a second, if it's okay, and 903. They've got a Ron Cobb production binder with sketches and annotations from The Last Starfighter, and then a Star League crew hat from The Last Starfighter, a movie
that
I
one's really cool.
love. I love that
Yeah,
movie, and I love the props from it, and Ron Cobb designed the ships and everything. We were talking about Ron Cobb before. Just a great looking movie and really fun and dated, but holds up, I think. I keep trying to get my kids
yeah.
to watch it. They have zero interest, but I'm going to force
That's
it
another one
one
that they've
of
been
these
trying to
days.
remake for years and years.
And rightfully so. And it feels like you could do it much in the way they kind of did Jumanji, like find a new twist. But again, it's the video game. The idea is, just for those of you who don't know it, it's basically a guy's really good at a video game. He gets his high score and it sends out a signal to outer space. And basically
Yeah,
they need him to come. The video game is a test that they've sent all over the galaxy, and they need him to go fight in the Armada League. I can never
yeah.
remember the line,
It's
but
so
it's great.
timely
Yeah.
with esports and everything.
Yeah.
Being so huge today. I mean, you could totally do that, and it would be totally
Are we
relevant
still
to
not done with
the
day two? This is madness.
kids these
Okay, we
days.
keep going, keep going. Some Lost, a couple of things from Lost Boys. Bruce Willis Looper costume. I like that movie. Looper. Uh, some
917, Dave,
where are you? 917. Yes. Lord of the Rings
an
orc
orc sword
sword.
from
That's kind of cool
Lord of
looking.
the Rings, and that's the recognizable shape. I mean, that's the
Yep.
shape that I think about when I think of those
That
swords, and
is the orc weapon,
that's
a
a neat.
really nice starter Lord of the Rings prop, and
Yeah,
certainly those things are not growing on trees. A couple of Mad Men pieces, Roger Sterling and Peggy Olson. That's kind of fun. One of my favorite shows. The Magicians, Major League Two. One of these days, somebody's got to put the Jobu prop in from Major League One. That thing's going to go
hmm
crazy. I will be bidding on Jobu. I swear, when that thing shows up, I will be bidding on Jobu. Put that in the auction. That's a cover piece, as far as I'm
quote him.
concerned. Yep, I will outbid Peter Jackson on Jobu. You heard it here first. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., rumors they might be bringing that back.
Oh, really?
Don't
Okay.
no idea, but sure, why not? Couple of Thor concept pieces. It looks like some concept art. Uh, some hammers, some Odin, some odds and end pieces. Kind of
Yep.
interesting looking. Thor: The Dark World, a marauder circular bladed weapon. I remember those. That is probably not my favorite Marvel movie. Maybe possibly my least favorite Marvel movie, but so be it. Masters of the Universe. People have a
Yeah.
soft spot for that. Interesting
There you
props. Never
go.
go that
A
expensive. And
Skeletor trooper
definitely some
costume.
cool guns too. If you look at
Yeah.
958,
Oh,
9,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Yeah, those designs were always
yeah,
really neat. Yeah, there's a
960.
bunch of stuff there from that film.
And
There's
a
an Eternian
couple.
trooper too.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
in
that's actually really neat.
957.
And
Yeah, I
day
like that
two,
costume.
ta-da, ends with a couple of Matrix pieces, including from 963 and 964 from the fight in the French chateau, or whatever that character's name was. The
Oh
Merovingian,
yeah.
I believe, was his name. Did I
Oh
ever tell you the
yes.
story of
Yeah.
the Merovingian? We reached out to
No.
him. We had a scene in Eurotrip that I think the scene is there, but the character may have been lifted out, where there was they go to around and there was a rude French waiter, and we reached out to the actor who had played the Merovingian, because the Matrix, the second one, was that Reloaded, or is that Reloaded, the second one. It had just come out, and I thought he was really, really cool. So we reached out to the Merovingian to see if he wanted to play this asshole French waiter in Eurotrip, and they wrote back he was offended.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Merovingian, we're hoping to get him for Eurotrip 2 coming soon. And with 965.
Yeah, how's he feeling? How's he feel now?
Yeah, now he's begging.
Missed out on cult classic.
Begging. And with 965, page 485, we have reached the end of day 2 in a tight almost an hour. My God, we have to go quicker. Day 3.
We've done. Ready? This is good, Dave.
This is a good pace.
Are you ready?
This is a good pace. Okay.
Before you bid in Prop Store's June 21st to 24th Entertainment Memorabilia Live Auction, it's always best to find out as much as you can about the items you're interested in, and the people at Prop Store are making themselves available multiple ways to answer your questions.
There are so many ways you can either find out about pieces or see pieces. Number 1, the office visit prior to the auction. You can schedule an appointment to stop by Prop Store's Valencia office Monday through Friday during business hours to preview an item. They will bring it out. Unlike me, they will make you wear gloves. You cannot touch it the way I touched everything during the preview. And while you're in Valencia, stop by Magic Mountain or my wife's pediatric practice. So that's very exciting. So you can pop into both.
Excellent. There's also
the highlights of Valencia.
This really the beautiful Valencia. There's this exciting thing coming up, which I really love, the Peterson Automotive Preview. So in a little over a week, you can catch a special auction preview on the 4th floor penthouse of the Peterson Museum, which is the auto museum right across from the Academy Museum. So really interesting place to go.
It's actually a great location. You can go to the Academy Museum. You can see the movie car exhibit at the Peterson, and then go to this event. Keep going.
Yeah, they're doing a VIP reception with actually really interesting with Rico Ross and Mark Ralston from Aliens. So that's Frost and Drake from Aliens. That's amazing, on Saturday, June 11th. But if you can't make that, you can still stop by the 4th floor of the museum from 1 to 5 p.m. on Sunday, June 12th, or 10 to 5 p.m. on Monday, June 13th to see the preview. So you get to see the items. And again, that museum is just amazing. So you should stop by and check it out either way.
And the other way is a virtual preview, which is each week leading up to the auction. There will be times that you can schedule a Zoom preview with a Prop Store specialist. I've done one of these. They bring out your item. They will put the camera wherever you basically want to put the camera. I think it's sort of like OnlyFans for props, basically, or at least what I know of OnlyFans. So you can check out any detail you want, whatever. They will basically show you what you want to see, and it's a great way of, again, getting questions answered, but also seeing things. If you're worried about a scratch, you want to see something, you're trying to match something, maybe you think you've got a screen match, that is the perfect way to do it. So don't just bid. If you have questions, get your questions answered. They are happy to answer them at Prop Store. So those are 3 fantastic ways.
Yeah, and they also have this great YouTube channel where they have a number of videos they're releasing about the different items in the auction. So you can check them out on Prop Store's YouTube channel, which I imagine is at Prop Store. Also, you check out some videos filmed by the great Adam Savage for Tested.com, who we absolutely need to have on this podcast at some point.
Yep.
And as well as the special Stuff Dreams Are Made Of podcast tour hosted by our very own Dave Mandel, which is also up on the YouTube channel. So go and check those out. If you have any questions about any items, you can email PropStore at supportla@propstore.com. And if you need a shipping quote in advance, if you're thinking about buying something that's very big or shipping it very far away, you can just click on the Get Shipping Quote button that appears on each lot page after you've logged in, so you get an idea of what it's going to cost you to ship it to wherever you are. So use all these different resources to get all the info. If you want the items you want to bid on in the upcoming June 21st, 24th Prop Store auction. And Dave, there are only 2 weeks left before we announce the winner.
I think maybe
of our little contest.
Yeah, I think it's basically the contest will keep running until maybe we record the next one. So what does that mean? Okay. We should create an end, I think, right? We should have an end, because I think we're gonna bring someone from Propster on to live for us announce who won the Dave 10, Ryan 10, 10% Prop Store buy it now discount code contest of who your favorite host is, and the totals. And apparently, a lot of you have been trying to use the codes on things you can't use the codes on, apparently, like catalogs and other things too.
Oh,
So,
that's great.
yeah,
I
so
like that.
you can't use the code on things that are already on sale. You can't use, so you couldn't use it on the May the 4th stuff. You can't use
Yeah.
it on like catalogs and stuff, but there's a lot of things you can use it on. You go on to their buy it now section, you use Dave 10 or Ryan 10 for Ryan, Dave 10 for me. You get 10% off. And I'm guessing, I guess we should say, if we probably record this next weekend, let's just say
Yeah.
it's through
June 4th, June 5th.
yes, June 4th,
Yeah.
I guess. June 4th.
Yeah, let's say Saturday. Get your buy nows in by June 4th.
By June 4th,
And,
yes. So you got a couple of days when this one goes live. Saturday, June 4th, you get the end. Use your Dave 10, your Ryan 10. Pick your favorite host. Prop Store, where all your dreams come true.
Find your extraordinary.
That too. Day 3, which will be June 23rd, features lots 966 to 1458. I can't even do the math. That seems like that day 3 has 1,000,007 pieces in it. Starting with 966, Richard Donner's Maverick movie.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's a fun.
I like that movie a lot.
I like that movie. I know we're now not supposed to, but I like that movie a lot. Men in Black. That's kind of a neat piece. 969, Agent K's head. A Rick Baker piece, I guess from when he's fighting Edgar Bug at the end or something. And it's a really good looking Tommy Lee Jones head. That would look very funny sitting on a shelf, I think.
You can see him frozen in consternation there. He's ready to yell.
That's very funny. There's some art as well, some concept art, 970 and 971 from Men in Black, which just a fun movie, just always fun. We talk about it a bunch, but it's fun. And then some various odds and ends from some of the other movies. These are all Rick Baker pieces. And then another Rick Baker piece, Hairy Monster Gloves or Hands from the Thriller music video. I'm guessing when they become like werewolves or something, but that's kind of neat too. So that's very fun. That crap load of Power Rangers stuff.
Power Rangers.
A lot of Power
Rangers.
Ads
for the next auction.
Yep. Minority Report. Like. Fun props.
There's a Fraggle coming up.
Oh, is that for the next? That's the fall. Fraggle coming up in the fall.
Yeah, the London auction.
I like 987, a little model. It's an executive gift, kind of a crew gift of the bullet train and the helicopter from the first Mission Impossible, which is a very great sequence and very enjoyable. Followed by a Mission Impossible 2 clapperboard, and then one that I'm stopping on, which I am legitimately stopping on, 989, a schoolboy uniform from Monty Python's Meaning of Life. Not a lot of Python stuff out there. We've talked about this before. This is a fun one, and I don't think they've ever sold one of these schoolboy uniforms. They've sold a few other things here and there, but this is a fun one, and I will be keeping my eye on that because that is
cool.
That.
You don't see a lot of Monty Python stuff generally, so and that's a great film too.
I'm stopping on 991, which are 2 sketches from Moonlighting. I've talked about that show and how much I love it before.
Those are great for you, Dave.
Those look actually really neat. They very much look like Maddie and David. I will be checking out. I can't quite see what episode or what season or anything like that. So it's something I'll be probably looking into. But that would be a fun thing because I've already, I've made my piece. I'm not going to get, I don't even know what, as I said, I'm not sure what my dream Moonlighting piece is, but this would be a pretty fun thing to have just because it's very them. It's very her. It's very him. And it would just be a fun, and I'd like to think pretty reasonably priced, piece of something from that show, which is I would love to have. So that'll be something I will be paying attention to. Yeah. Muppet Treasure Island.
Yeah, promotional materials. Lot 1000. Mystery Alaska, which is a wonderful,
fun little
film
hockey movie. Yep.
About Russell Crowe defeating the New York Rangers. So this New Jersey Devils fan always really enjoyed that movie.
That's a very good take on it. I'm not sure I ever thought about it that way, but sure, why not? Yeah. And then we hit a bunch
Gladiator
of
versus the New York Rangers.
Exactly, and wins. Yeah. A whole bunch of National Treasure stuff, and again, just great props. And then
these are all really
baseball
cool.
1007. This was a baseball. I got a quick glance at this when in the video where I went over to Prop Store, which you can also watch on our YouTube channel. This is the baseball that goes with the bat from The Natural, which I think is, again, a movie I love, and that's a fun little prop with a hand created like mitt stand, which is
Yeah,
sort
that's
of,
cool.
yeah, kind of fun. I'm not sure I would do it myself, but I might buy it. So there you go.
Yeah, to go with
A
your
couple of
bat.
odds and ends from Never Ending Story, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, that's cool. You don't see a lot from
Yeah,
that
no, exactly.
film. Reference photos and some production paperwork. That's cool. I'm looking at 1014, Dave.
Hold on, I got to
That's a
stop you for
really
real. I want
cool.
to get to 1014 because I do want to see it. But have you shown your kids the Night at the Museum movies yet? Really quickly, have you shown them those
Oh,
yet?
I thought you were going to ask if I had shown them Nightcrawler,
No, no.
2014.
Well, I was actually 1008, Never Ending Story. You
I've
need to
not.
show. You got to wait a little bit longer on Never Ending
Yeah.
Story. But your kids, my kids, love the Night at the Museum pieces, and 1012 is Octavius, played by Steve Coogan, who it's just the fact that they got Steve Coogan to be in these movies. I'm guessing because he's friends with Ben Stiller or something. But
Yeah.
just one of the all-time great comedy actors playing this little role as Octavius, little tiny miniature guy, and they have his costume. That's a great piece. That's really fun. Now, yes, jump to 1014 because that's great.
I have not shown my kids Night at the Museum, but that's a good one. Never Ending Story, I feel like needs to wait a bit because that'll
a little
freak them
longer,
out.
more like 10, 11, somewhere in there. But,
I was actually making a Nightcrawler joke though, Dave. 1013 about not showing my children the horrifying Nightcrawler.
Not till they're 16.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, but 1014 is a hand drawn Tim Burton, Jack Skellington, and Sally piece of artwork from Nightmare Before Christmas, and that's a great little piece there.
That
feels
is,
like that's
that is all you ever need or want. Yes, exactly.
Right.
Buried deep in day 3, you get that. The two of them, you're done. I think it's going to go more than that, but boy, oh boy.
I would guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, that is gorgeous. And it looks like it's signed. I'm looking at a very tiny piece. Obviously I'll check it out more, but that's just fantastic. That's just really, really great.
Yeah.
I'm stopping in 1020, 1021, and 1022. I love Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yes, that's a great one.
I've never seen any props from this movie. They've got a Soggy Bottom Boys record, a little
I love the liquor
Dapper
jug.
Dan and Fop, and the liquor jug from the scene with the sirens.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
The jug with the 3 X's on it, and then the guy getting ridden out on a rail at the end of the movie. But also, I'm a Dapper Dan man. It's just like, these are wonderful. I don't think they're gonna go for a lot, but just like, you don't see stuff from that movie. This is good stuff. This is a 3 in a row of really fun. I will be bidding unless I am completely bankrupt. A whole bunch of stuff from the offer.
But if you are completely bankrupt, that's potentially great news for you as a
guess
collector.
That's a good thing. It's the plus side. A whole bunch of things from the offer, which I guess Prop Store is selling these exclusively.
Yeah,
this is the Making of the Godfather miniseries that I love The Godfather so much, I can't stop watching this. I want to just say for the record, I'm not saying it's great, but I cannot stop watching it, including the stunt horse's head.
That's cool.
Just
1038.
The fake cast stuff, fake copies of the novel.
I like
Marlon
1034,
Brando
Dave.
Kimono. Oh yes, the film splicer. I mean, come on, this is just insane.
And Coppola wine bottles from the period. That's
Salvation
great.
Army, which is from the day one. That is actually it's the first thing they show them shooting in The Godfather, and it's the first scene. It's when they come out of the movie and they're putting money into the Salvation Army thing, and then Michael finds out his father's been shot. That was the first stuff that they, would you like me better if I was Anne Bancroft or something like that, whatever Diane Keaton Kay's line is, that's they show them shooting that. There's great costumes of all the different people. Again, I cannot stop watching, so judge me as you will. I cannot stop watching it.
And you should not be able to stop bidding on I don't know, it's a little Prop Store ad there.
I think is that's the halfway mark. Insert Prop Store ad now. Brought to you.
I think that goes Julian's, between. I think that's already happened, right? Because probably between day 2 and day 3. If I was editing this show, that's where I would have put it, Dave.
Fair enough.
But we'll find out.
A bunch of good Pee-wee's Playhouse stuff. Very fun. Fondly remembered.
I loved that. I really love that show.
Piranha.
10 kind of 1056 through like 1061. All worth looking at. Piranha 3 Double D, a man-eating piranha. That's fun. An anchor from 1067 anchor from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Dead Man's Chest. I don't remember. Can't remember if that's the second or the third one or the fourth one. How many are there? 4?
I think that's 2 is Davy Jones, right? So it's 2006. The first one was 2002, so it has to be like the third one. I think it's not the first. It's not the first one. We know that.
I think it's the seventh one. I'm pretty sure it's the seventh one. I think we can agree.
Yeah.
Pixels.
1073. Stunt net gun from Predator 2.
Predator
that's kind
2.
of cool.
That's a neat piece.
A Predator 2 piece. Yeah.
And then a bunch of things from Predators.
Yeah.
I believe
you just got to run through it. Predators.
Yeah,
Predators.
Exactly. Priest, a movie I've never actually seen, but maybe now is the moment for me to watch Priest.
That was one of the when I was right around breaking in, so about 15 years ago. That was just one of those scripts that everybody handed you with like, if like you want to write in Hollywood, this is the kind of stuff you need to be writing. And look, it was incredibly cool and really good. It was about this, priestly order that hunts vampires, and it was just really well done. It's like the Mark Protasevich I Am Legend draft, which was also very famous around at that time, and much darker kind of a much more kind of James Cameron take, 80s James Cameron take on I Am Legend, in terms of getting into the pathos of what that person would actually be like living alone in the city surrounded by vampires, and kind of a less popcorny take on the film. It was really, really interesting. But anyway, Priest always stood out to me. The script more than.
Did you ever actually see it or no?
Never did. Nope.
Never did. Fair enough. And then the most interesting thing to me about Priest, much like Enemy of the State, is we're living it now. Sort of a priestly order fighting vampires. I think really it's come to pass.
Yeah, great. It's very,
cool.
very, very
topical,
very timely. Yeah. Good pull, Dave. 1089.
Oh, okay. Yes, Al Pacino, The Recruit.
Have you ever seen that movie? I really like that movie.
I watch it. If that pops up, I will watch it. It's a good Pacino performance. I'm not quite sure. It's one of those movies where you get to the end and you're sort of like, I bet if I watched it right now from the beginning, it doesn't actually make sense, but you're happy. You're pretty happy with it.
Yeah, you were in for the ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't 100% add up, but so what? What does add up these days?
Exactly. I'll tell you what adds up. 1099, Dave. Sean Connery's oversized quarter from The Rock.
Yes. Just
did anybody ever tell you? Have we talked about that in this podcast? Where basically there's a theory, there's like a film nerd theory that Connery's character in The Rock
just James Bond. Yeah, I'm not sure if I knew specifically, but as you said it, I was like, let me guess. Yeah, I totally understand that. Yeah.
But I love him in that film. I'm just borrowing your Humvee. That's my Connery.
The craziest thing about that movie and that Humvee section
taking offers.
If you were making that movie today, you could just go in there and just like lift so much of that out. It's like it's a movie where it takes them so long to just get going to the actual.
Don't touch it. It's all glorious and great. And
out.
Leave it alone.
Right before though, 1097 hand drawn storyboards from The Right Stuff, which I think is really cool as well. Giving a shout out to that. A couple of Rocketeer pieces, 1100 and 1102, and a clapperboard from Rocky 2, which is very fun. 1101, although I don't know why. Oh, I see. It's a Rocketeer storyboard, a Rocky 2 clapperboard, and a Rocky 3 storyboard. Now I understand. I thought those were 2 Rocketeer storyboards. So I apologize. But still all fun. I thought
that was a newspaper from Rocky when the man with the jetpack comes in to save Apollo Creed.
From Rocky 4.
Now it makes more sense.
I also love 1104, which is the exploding collar from Running Man, a movie that cool. I still love, and also, by the way, has come to pass. I believe we are living in.
That's more true.
Running Man. Yeah, that's very, very true. Very enjoyable. Check out 1109 just to get a movie you don't see much from, but a Scarface
Yeah.
jacket from Angel
Chi-Chi.
Salazar, who plays Chi-Chi. Yes, exactly. Another Watergate little White House plumbers thing. You know, the burglars were all Cuban, or the majority of them were a bunch of Cubans. So I actually was sort of like, I wonder where Chi-Chi is.
Yeah.
He's still doing stand up down in the greater Miami area, as it turns out.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah. Autographed. I'm just 1112 autographed.
Oh, 1111, Dave. You don't want Schindler's List? It's actually Schindler's List.
It's actually his list. Oh, that's kind of interesting. You can buy it and add yourself to the list. Huh? Yeah. Autographed 7 screenplays, kind of fun.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
A couple of
Brad
neat
Pitt.
shots.
It's weird, Dave, because I looked at it. I was like, oh, autographed. And immediately in my head, I'm doing Andrew Kevin Walker, the great screenwriter of Seven. And then I looked at it. I was slightly disappointed that it was Brad Pitt. So I guess that's, I don't know. That says something, right?
It says it's a good thing about us. And actually, Andy is actually a big comic art collector and is a really good guy and a big comic.
Oh, that's cool. Yes. That's cool. But if you were buying,
now we will test to see. Now we will test to see if he listens to the show or not.
Yeah, that's right. He'll write you. Yeah. But if you were buying an autographed 7 screenplay, wouldn't you rather one signed by Andrew Kevin Walker, the writer, versus?
I do, or all three.
No offense to Brad Pitt. Love Brad Pitt, but
here's my order: Andrew Kevin Walker, then Fincher, then Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Something like that.
And then Gwyneth Paltrow's head.
1118, 1119, Shawshank Prison inmate shirt, and then 2 of the production-made pinup posters. They've got the Rita Hayworth and the Raquel Welch. That's kind of fun.
I worked with a copywriter back in my advertising days that was also a frustrated screenwriter that was forced to shill out his creative talents during the day to the pharmaceutical industry, as I was, and he kept this very Rita Hayworth poster in his office, and always said that beneath it was a tunnel, and the tunnel on the way out was his screenwriting career. And I always laughed at that.
7 miles of shit, or whatever the line is.
Yeah. He just kept it up to remind himself
figuratively,
that his screenwriting was tunneling his way out of his advertising office, it just made me laugh all the time.
I feel like in one of those like scary movie sort of movies, did they ever do like that poster on the wall and then they lift it up, but there's some like not a tunnel out or something, like a tunnel in, or you know what I mean, like that kind of joke.
Or you just lift it up and I don't know, Betty White's under it, just staring at
exactly,
you.
just there for a bad cameo.
Some non sequitur. You're right.
1129 Soylent Green cans. Oh wait, something before that. I'm sorry.
Can we talk about Soldier? Yes. How do you feel about Soldier 1126 and 27? I'm kind of charmed by
which
Soldier.
One was Soldier?
Kurt Russell. I'm going to kill them all.
I do remember that.
It was the most anybody had ever been paid per line of dialogue or per word spoken in a film at that time, because he said 75 words.
Like Soldier is like an unofficial sequel to something or other, or something.
Blade Runner, I think.
Is that what the idea was? It had something to do with that? Oh my lord, yeah. I saw Soldier in the theater. There's nothing I can say except I saw Soldier in the theater. So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to kill them all.
Pre-COVID. I
think that was his longest line of dialogue in the whole film.
By the way, we saw Top Gun this weekend.
Oh yeah, thumbs up.
Top Gun 2 Maverick, and I got to say, I don't know if it's it's certainly not a perfect movie. It's not even necessarily a great movie, but I have not enjoyed seeing a movie so much in a very, very long time. And if I get COVID and die for going to that movie, of which again I wore my mask and no one else, I am okay if I die having seen Top Gun Maverick. It was pretty great.
Well, I mean, to be fair, if you do get COVID and die, you can always blame Star Wars Celebration and not.
This is very true.
Besmirch Top Gun 2.
Really, really fun. I mean, it just hits everything you want it to hit, and really enjoyable. I don't want to oversell, but really, really fun.
We're gonna go. We're gonna do it.
I highly recommend it. 1129 Soylent Green. Just to actually get Soylent Green cans, and you can put on the old Phil Hartman clip of him going, Soylent Green is people.
That's great. I mean, that's cool. And like, what else would you want from that film? You want a
No,
Soylent
that's
Green
exactly it.
can,
I guess
right?
these
I
were
mean,
promotional
and there are
cans
2
that
of
they
them.
used to sell the movie, so they're not the screen used one. I
Mm.
don't care. I'm okay with that.
Are
They're
you
from
saying that they're not
1973.
actually filled with people because they weren't, these
They
are just
may or may
promotional?
not be people, is I guess what
Okay.
if that's what they're saying. They may or
That's
may
the
not be
takeaway.
people.
Very
I've
good.
still never seen Spectral, but I guess Prop Store did the original Spectral auction. And I guess Weta made these things and they're fantastic looking. And
The
I'm
gear
never
is
going to
really cool.
watch the movie, but I always like
No.
looking at all of this Spectral stuff. I don't know what the F it is, and I don't really care. It's great looking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally cool looking. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Peter
Some
Parker's
Spider-Man
Diploma.
stuff, Diploma, prototype
I love all the
wedge
Daily Bugle
shooters.
papers. I just think
Yep,
those are
all the
really cool. Like,
papers
if you're
are
a
really
Spider-Man
fun.
fan,
Yep.
that's such a great thing
Well, I think
to
we've talked a little bit about magazine
display.
covers too, but newspapers too. It's just you can make a really fun collection. They frame up so great, and when you think about
Mhm.
all the movies that have good newspapers and stuff in it, you really can really do a lot, which is really really fun. So I big fan.
Yeah, and
Big fan.
there's a ton of them in here, so you kind of have your choice. I love the New York Magazine too. It's Spider-Man 3,
Yes,
but
I don't
I do
remember
like
that one, but it looks
Why
good.
New York,
Yeah.
Hearts
Love
Spidey,
Spidey. Yeah.
1156. Oh, we're into Star Trek, Dave.
Yep, next gen stuff. I know anything in here like this is sort of your second run stuff a little bit, but is there anything in here that hits your Star Trek next gen buttons at all?
I mean, the LCARS stuff is always cool. I mean, this stuff is all great. There are scripts.
I love the look of something like the
1157,
1166, which I'm sorry is the Klingon knife, just because I love the way they would make the various weapons for the various like races and cultures and
Yeah.
planets look very different. So a
Very
Klingon
different,
knife
yeah.
does look different than an Earth knife or whatever it would be. Anyway,
Yeah. Then a Vulcan knife. They have knives. No, they just have nerve pinches. There's a cool LCARS sort of turbo lift panel, 1167,
yes.
which is neat. Com badge 1165. That's just a neat sort of on its own prop. Like, I have a com badge from Next Generation. There it is.
You could
Boom.
frame that up. You could put it on a little, just on a
Yeah.
shelf. It'd look nice in a lot of different ways. I kind of dig the United Federation of Planets flag just because, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
just
that's
that
neat.
it exists. Yeah. A bunch of tribbles. I owned a
1160
bunch of those from the old Deep Space Nine, whatever, the one where they go back into the old episode.
Yeah,
I always thought that was
the
a
triple
fun
episode.
one.
Yeah, those are definitely fun. 1160 or 1176 to a clapper from DS9, which is just
Oh
neat.
yeah,
a slate. Command uniform, another phaser from Voyager, 1191.
The neat thing about, by the way, the Deep Space Nine uniforms, and one of them is a crewman's, but another one, it doesn't look like it has a name on it. I mean, I guess if this is your thing to like, dress up and do the cosplay thing, to actually be able to buy like basically a background or an extra character or sort of a smaller character and actually have an actual screen used one and then wear it to a show. I mean, if that's your thing, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't think of a better way of doing it.
And I think that's okay, because there were so many. As long
There's
as
so many of those. You're not
wearing
Picards. You know what I mean? You're not wearing Picards to the
Well,
Met
I
Ball.
will be.
Yeah. Yes.
But I'm
exactly.
a baller.
To the Met Ball, so you're baller. Enterprise, that was that last show. That's a nice, whatever we want to call it, console stunt overlay. 1201, just because it's the full Enterprise on
it's
it.
Really gorgeous.
Kind of cool looking.
The original Enterprise.
Yes,
the pre-Kirk one.
Yes.
Lots of Star Trek stuff. Jeez, wow.
Yeah.
Motion picture.
Motion picture, V'ger. These are all really neat because they're done with like colored pencil and chalk on like black paper. So they really jump out at you. And 1216, by the way, really nice one of Mr. Spock is really cool. But there's a bunch of really cool ones. 1213 has a nice Enterprise one. Really kind of dig that a lot. And 1217 has the spacesuit, which then gets reused.
Oh, that's really cool.
In Wrath of Khan. So even though it's sort of from both of them, and it looks like it's hand illustrated with overlays and stuff, it looks very interesting and complicated in a good way. So I kind of dig that.
I love 1219, Dave.
Yes. This is SETI Alpha, whatever, 6. Yes.
5.
6.
Yes. Star Trek 2,
5, 6, 7.
Keep that straight.
That's
really cool.
This is the only inhabitants of SETI
Alpha. Yeah. The eels, just horrifying. I saw that when I was like 6, and it just that got into my that memory got into my brain like the eel did.
Just kind of great.
12
Just really good.
1221, really cool concept paintings from
Vulcan at the end of Voyage Home. Yeah, those are nice.
Which
and
was my
San
joke
Francisco.
about the title of this podcast, because this is our 4th catalog episode. So I made it's the catalog day for the Voyage Home when we were titling it. So is this the Voyage Home?
We're still in day 3. We're still in day 3.
Is this the should this episode be the Voyage Home Part 2 or catalog day 5, the Final Frontier? Should that be it?
Frontier.
I think that should be
the Final Frontier.
Okay, good. Let's do
Parentheses, we're shitting our
this
pants.
Episode
we're shitting our pants a little less. Yeah, a little less. A little, not so much shit in the pants.
No shits left to pants. It could be this episode directed by William Shatner. Bunch of insurrections, movie stuff.
Again, all interesting. I mean, again, we're in this Star Trek section. There's something for you if this is what you're looking for. There's something here. Yes.
And then I see 1239. We're into Star Wars.
Into something. Prequels. We're into some prequel world.
Dave,
yes.
We stop losing listeners.
We got an email. We got an email or a post from a guy very angry going like, I'm not listening anymore because Dave keeps making fun of the prequels. And then he wrote back and sort of was like, just kidding. And then he kind of wrote, but it wouldn't hurt you to cover the prequels more, which in my mind was just kidding, but not really kidding. But in honor of you, sir, I am skipping over this entire goddamn section, and I'm not even giving it 1 second of time. 12.
But you're not insulting them.
I'm not. So I'm insulting them by jumping over them. Is that?
A step.
Is that not understood?
Forward.
I don't know. I thought that was understood.
Something nice
to
say.
I'm not wasting a second in the middle of day 3 on this garbage. How's that?
All right.
Cantina
Ralph
door
McQuarrie
frame.
sketches, Dave.
Yeah. There's a bunch of fun Star Wars stuff in here. Some crew shirts, some hats, some blueprints, cards and stuff. But yeah, I'm jumping to 1270 for a couple of wonderful little thumbnail.
That's really cool.
Yeah. This is my favorite section of Empire. It's the asteroid chase. These are of the Falcon sort of making its run through the canyons. These are great. I love these. You get 3 little thumbnails. Yeah.
I think the best Han Solo section in that great movie. And also I think, the Imperial March is a classic, but to me, the score for this section of the film is just magical.
It is. It is just takes you away. And I can hear that music to this day. And it just like transports me both to the Falcon, but also to the movie theater. You know what I mean? It just, just true escapist filmmaking in just such a wonderful way. Another McQuarrie one on a Dagobah and a little Cloud City, but the Dagobah is small but nice. Some handwritten notes from Lucas. Doesn't look like they say a couple of odds and ends and a couple of character names and stuff. That's pretty cool looking.
Various some continuity Polaroids. I like this
paperwork. Where are you?
1275. It looks like it's a draft. The Lee Brackett draft. Is that possible?
Yeah, I think
it
so.
Is, Dave. I think that's the Lee
library.
Brackett
This is
draft
the first draft. Yes,
of Empire. That's
Lee Brackett,
to me,
the very
movie history.
famous screenwriter who sadly, I think, got the job and then was suffering from cancer, I believe, very sadly, and passed away, and perhaps didn't quite
while
give the
it was
script.
being written, right?
Yeah, kind of didn't really, perhaps give it her everything, and then Lawrence Kasdan, off of the success of the Raiders screenplay, Lucas brought him in to work on the draft, and everybody very wanted to make sure that they shared credit with Lee Brackett to honor Lee Brackett. So that was a very cool thing. Yes.
Yeah, that's very cool. But that's a great piece of history. I've never actually read the Lee Brackett draft. Have you? Have you read it?
I have read it. Yes,
before
I have a copy of it. Yes, not. Okay. I don't own one, but very. Again, it's a work in progress, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yes,
but I'd be interested to do that.
More
what else is jumping out?
I like 1279. Again, it's got a call sheet, a letter, some patches, a couple of other cast and crew items in there is really fun. I like 1280, which is it's a stop motion gauge so that you can tell how much this belonged to Doug Beswick, but how much the things were moving when when you're doing stop motion and you're moving them,
Mm,
ever incrementally. That is the thing that you use to kind of chart, if you will, the movement. So I just think
mm.
that's really fun in a really
Neat piece
cool
of
way. Yeah.
filmmaking. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So that's very enjoyable. Some various production made pieces. Jedi Lucas story notes, 1284. Some paper cutouts, 1285 and 1287 of an ATSD and the driver that I guess were used probably for either deep background stuff or just even
That's
for
so
just
wild.
like, yeah, just fun stuff
Yeah.
like that, or possibly for storyboard stuff. They've got a blue
Yeah,
harvest
or
hat.
maybe like animatics or something when they were
Let's see,
prevising the
I'm
sequence.
trying to read scale reference while building models and possibly for video animatics. So that's perfect. Yeah.
Boom.
Yep.
Uh,
There's an Endor
cool.
storyboard, 1289, blue harvest hat, 1291, which is great.
1294 here. I love this actually.
That's
The
really cool.
8D8
Yep.
blueprint of the that's the
The
torture
full
droid from Jabba's
size of
palace.
the medical droid, which is
Yeah.
really neat. Yeah. I'm
You'll
going back
soon
one
learn some respect.
I'm
That's
going
my
back one
8D8
really quickly.
impression.
That's better than your
Thank you.
Connery. I love 1293 because if you're a writer, these are basically index cards with words on
Yeah.
them. And they're handwritten
Yeah.
editing department scene cards. This is the
Yeah.
stuff where it's like, well, what if we move the bike chase here and we move Road to Java's over
Yeah.
here? And I just love the idea that at some point they were all just going insane in the edit room, moving stuff around. This is the way
Tearing
we
their
do
hair
it,
out of their
the
head.
way we
Yeah.
do it even now. And I just
It
kind of
gives me
love that. Yeah.
anxiety just looking at
No,
them.
but it's
I
kind of
actually
great. Yeah.
I actually saved Dave.
Yep.
This will tickle you as a collector and a person with the sickness. I saved all of the season one story cards from the writers' room. Those little scene cards
We started
when
doing
we were
on
breaking the story.
Veep, we did all dry erase board. There was no cards. It was all dry erase board.
I'm a cards guy.
But
I love the
I was a cards
physical
guy.
artifacts.
But I went to dry erase, and what I have is I have all the photos of the dry erase boards. I have all the
Oh, okay.
iterations, and I have the finals and whatnot, and then the differences between what then the episodes became and how they relate to those. But I kept the photos of it just to have like this is what they were, which I do kind of
Yeah.
love. Yeah.
Well, I have the scene, all the scene cards, and I just love the tactile nature of writing them and the feeling of completion when you have an episode up, and then the ability to just quickly move them around the board without having to
I
erase
do
and rewrite.
understand that, but that moment of just being able to erase and just go blah, 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 and just rub it out with
No,
your hand and write quickly, um,
no,
when the moment
no,
hits. No, I like it. I like it. I'm
no.
sorry.
I love my physical
Um,
cards.
some more storyboards, a logo stencil. That's kind of fun. The ILM logo stencil that you could spray paint the ILM logo onto like equipment and stuff is very cool, I
Yeah, that's
think.
cool. You could
Yeah,
Banksy your city
exactly.
with the ILM light bulb. Some
All
Star
right.
Tours
Yep.
storyboards. That's kind of
Couple of
neat.
odds and
Oh,
ends. Yep.
and then we're into Stargate, which is always a milestone
Finally,
in
Stargate. Yeah.
in a
And
good
then
prop store
followed
catalog.
by Starship Troopers, which, by the way,
Correct. Yeah.
does have. I always like Starship Troopers, and it has a very cool small miniature of the Roger Young, a little
Roger Young.
the
Yeah.
yeah the ship, and it's actually a
1320.
really nice. I don't know. It's I guess it's a forced perspective shot, so it's a small one. But I'm a fan of that ship, and I'm a fan of miniatures, and that's a very modestly priced one from a very fun movie that I actually think is very gettable. I will simply say,
Yeah,
for
sort of
those,
hiding there
yeah,
in day 3 at lot
yeah. By this
1320
point on
for
day 3, most of the people bidding are going to just have died. They're going to be dead. I swear,
correct.
they're just going to have
Yeah,
passed
at the
out
very
from
least
lack
unconscious.
of
Yeah.
oxygen. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, uh, Superman
Uh
newspapers starting in 1335 and
1335.
36. We were talking about why newspapers are so great. Uh, Lex Luthor's scheme bombs, Superman saves nation. I mean, come on, that's pretty wonderful from Superman
It's
2.
great.
White House surrenders. I mean, these are all fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Um, Superman Lives, maybe a little less
Yeah,
fantastic, a little slightly
yeah.
less fantastic. Yeah.
Unproduced Superman film.
Some Terminator storyboards. It's kind of neat. I'm looking at
Oh yeah, that is neat.
1351, 53, 52. Those
That one has
Future War
the
stuff.
robot on
Yep.
it. Before Stan Winston got involved, when the robot was actually just a human-sized Iron Giant, apparently. That's
But it's
amazing.
neat to see that early version there like that.
Yeah,
It's kind of
yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Oh, and here's the head,
Yeah.
1351. That's a cool shot.
That's actually really neat. Yeah, with the head. Yeah, totally. And then speaking of storyboards, starting at 1356, a bunch of Mike Plug, another comic art illustrator, but did a bunch of great
Those are
storyboards for The
fantastic.
Thing. And these are hand-drawn ones of The Thing. He's really good with the creature and stuff. There's looks like 3 lots of Thing storyboards by Mike Plug. These are excellent. These are
But
worth checking out.
these are great because they're not just sketched. They're really
no. This guy drew.
They're done.
Yeah, exactly. These are like ready to be published. Yeah, pretty great. Yeah, well done, Mike Plug. That's excellent. Some Titanic stuff. Yep.
From the White Star Line.
Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, the later version of Total Recall. Not the version I want of Total Recall.
Here we go, Dave. 1372. You can express your love of Maverick already with the challenge coins.
Challenge coins. I don't know if I need a challenge coin. I got to be honest. I don't know if I need a challenge coin, but
okay, fair.
What I really want, well, I don't want to, no spoilers. We'll talk about it after you see it. We'll talk about that. We should play the game after you see it. We should play the game for that movie, just because not right now, but when it's done.
Okay, cool.
That'll be a fun one. Some
Total
Tron. Oh, Total Recall. Yep, I said. But that's all. I think it's all right. It's all the later one, right?
Yeah, the new one. Yep.
Yeah. Transformers,
Tropic Thunder,
Tron Legacy. Oh, that's fun. Tropic Thunder. That's kind of neat. There's a Bust a Nut and Al Pacino's Booty Sweat. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
The Tropic Thunder book from the end. That'd be a fun thing for. That'd be a fun thing for your bookshelf. I kind of love things like that. And Simple Jack, a copy of that, just to put on your movie
one
shelf.
Of his VHSs. Yeah,
exactly. Tug Speedman's Oscar. Fun.
Oh yeah. That's funny.
A whole bunch of True Blood, True Grit, Twilight. Still some Twilight stuff around.
Yeah.
Warcraft. Oh, Wayne's World. That's fun. Stan Mikita's donut tray. I always thought that was funny.
Is really cool. Yeah. 1423. That's really neat.
And a couple of odds and ends from Willow. Did you watch the new Willow trailer?
I did.
Yes,
wow. I did. So lot 1431, The Wolf of Wall Street, Special Agent Patrick Denham's FBI badge, Kyle Chandler.
And I kind of like the Stratton Oakmont notepad and pen. That would just be fun to have on your desk. Use the pad. I'm not sure I want to spend $2,000 on a pad that I write little notes on, like remember to buy groceries, but still very fun. Yeah, exactly. Wolverine, Wonder Woman. We're in our W's.
I like two things actually. I like 1437. I like this the high school kid artwork from student elections and things like that from the halls of the
old Wonder Years.
Robert F. Kennedy Junior High School in the Wonder Years, which I always love that show. Really love that show. And my really good friend from LA, one of my oldest LA friends, is married to the actor that played Kevin Arnold's first girlfriend. So
it's very funny.
Before Winnie Cooper.
Sure.
So just a fun little bit of trivia there. I like 1439 too. Because that's
a very memorable X-Files piece.
Imprinted on me. Yeah.
Yeah. That was.
I don't know that I need to have that in my house, but
I'm not trying to have it anywhere where I could see it again, but definitely a memorable X-Files prop in a very, very fun way.
Did like it. I like the Chris Carter chair back too, 1442. And there's a case file too. That's kind of neat. The 1443 an X file. That's
sort of fun to have an actual X file. It's kind of neat with the X numbering on it, and then it looks like they signed it. Is that what they did? I'm trying to look. Those signatures. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they're autographs on, which makes me like it actually less because
Ever so slightly less. Yeah.
don't sign the props.
Yeah.
Bunch
Sign the back. I don't know. Some
yeah,
X-Men stuff.
the COA or something.
Yeah.
X-Men.
A little more Zorro
some more
stuff.
Zorro
We saw
stuff.
some
There
of
must have
that.
been. They must have like unearthed, right?
Yeah,
they must have
they
unearthed
definitely
something.
unearthed a Zorro collection of some sort.
Yeah. The director or something.
So day 4, I cannot believe we actually we managed to do
We made it.
We made it through day 3 in 38 minutes, which is good. That's a land speed record. And day 4 is a little bit of a curiosity. So basically, it's a very long list, but we're going to do our best to sort of maybe jump and call out a couple of things. Everything in the catalog can obviously be seen online better. I guess the catalog got so big, they didn't have room to put pictures of everything. But this is sort of they've kind of put a lot of their comic books, comic art, some animation art, things from the Rinsler collection, some toys, and some other ephemera
books.
kind of are in this section. So let's go through it for a second, and maybe there's a couple of things we can kind of call out, but we'll keep moving quickly. So,
well, Dave, can you talk about? Can you talk? The two big things I'm seeing, the big pieces of comic art here. Why don't you talk about them, and just as a comic art collector here on the cover of day 4.
Sure. The comic art section, just to tell everybody really quickly, I guess it starts with lot 1562 and goes to 1645. And it looks like the big cover piece is a Brian Boland Killing Joke piece, which, if I understand it correctly, this was a piece that Boland did for like a French something or other. And then his piece was taken, and then a separate piece was, I think, painted to make what the cover piece they used, if that makes sense. So he did a piece, and then the piece was used to sort of create a painting that his pen and ink aren't a part of, but I guess was, light boxed or something to do the painting, or projected to do the painting, which is a very common way. So this is the actual pen and ink by Boland, and obviously it's not it's not from the original Killing Joke. It's something advertising the Killing Joke, or an article about the Killing Joke. But then again, if it were the cover to the Killing Joke, we would all be, passed out, because that would be the most incredible thing in the world. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Even in a non-comic book, even in a non-comic art auction, the cover to the Killing Joke would be on the cover of the catalog. But certainly, if you're a Brian Boland guy, if you're a Killing Joke guy, this is a piece that has got to jump out at you, that has got to interest you. The other piece that I get a real kick out of, which isn't here on the cover, but if you look in the art section, it's a Jack Kirby pinup of the Molecule Man from the Fantastic Four annual, which I think is really great too. So I just think that's really, really neat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then they've got a whole bunch of pieces by Ed Hannigan. And Ed Hannigan, for both Marvel and DC, was a huge sort of cover designer. So he would sketch covers out that oftentimes other artists would do the finished cover, but he would do the design, get the approval from editorial. So he did a lot of famous covers throughout his run, and they've sort of hand selected a whole bunch of them. And I believe this is all being sold by the Hannigan family. So that's a really nice thing. And then in the comics themselves, I was going to say, buried in the comic section, among other things, are a bunch of comics actually from Rinsler's comic book collection, including a 1.0 graded Amazing Fantasy 15, which is in actually really nice shape considering it's a 1.0. And if you've ever wanted,
I didn't know he was a comic collector.
15, I think he had his old comic books, and so there's a bunch of his comics in here. There's a little bit of comic art as well, but that is a great just opportunity. If you ever wanted to own an Amazing Fantasy 15, it's a 1.0. Go for it. There's your chance just to own it. They've got a lovely copy of Hulk 181, first appearance of Wolverine 9.2.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's really nice. They've got a nice first appearance of Supergirl in Action Comics 4.0. There's a
really nice Punisher first appearance
there's
too.
There's a bunch of really cool comics kind of just buried in here. Oh yes, the Spidey, what is it, 120?
129. Right?
Yes, exactly. That's a 9.6. Really nice grade. Yeah. Yes, I'm pretty sure. So a whole bunch of stuff there. some very nice animation art, including a Bewitched cell, some Simpson stuff. From Charles Lippincott, they've got a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm going to have to go through all of this because they've definitely got some Mentor Hubner, Flash Gordon, I believe storyboards are in there. They've got some toys from him, from Kenner stuff. So again,
Mm-hmm.
dig through here because I think there's a lot of opportunity. And I'm sorry, my eyes don't work so well anymore, but I'm making everything bigger now. So now I can see there's some Judge Dredd concept stuff in the Charles Lippincott collection. There's a
Yeah.
whole bunch of graded toys of Star
Some
Wars
toys, yeah.
that are graded. And then a whole bunch of interesting, like the 3-position laser rifle is sealed. So there's a whole bunch of really nice Kenner stuff from the Lippincott collection that's worth checking out.
With really
That's
cool
just really
provenance,
fun.
yeah.
Yeah, really nice
Yeah.
to have something. Again, I just want something from his collection. That's the easiest way I can express it. It's that simple. I would like to have something from Lippincott's collection.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah.
And then more Lippincott's. I'm sorry. Then more. I'm sorry, not Lippincott stuff. Then there's more Rinsler stuff, including
Yeah.
his autographed
727
copy, yes, of the Making of the
sorry,
Empire book.
1727.
Yep, and
1727 to
1728.
815.
A Spielberg signed photograph. I mean, this is the stuff that Rinsler was working on. Those incredible books, and this is stuff connected to his work at Lucasfilm. Some Lucasfilm cast and crew gifts, including the really nice Lucasfilm pillow, some employee writing set gifts, just various. Again, it's all really neat stuff.
Here's one I really like,
yeah.
Dave. 1774. It's a Rinsler owned, but it's a Howard Kazanjian signed Revenge of the Jedi poster.
Yeah,
which is
come on.
and it looks like it's inscribed to him, and that to me is just really cool.
He's got Lucasfilm picnic invites, call sheets, crew hats from the different ones that he was writing on. I mean, this is really nice stuff. A couple of wonderful Mark Ratz posters, who we've talked about. We got to get Mark on this show. Wonderful. One of the great movie poster designers who's got to do some Lucas stuff, which is great.
Yes, who's a fan of the show.
Rick Baker Metamorphosis book that Rinsler also wrote. So, I mean, there's just incredible stuff here from Rinsler's collection. And all of this stuff is going for the Rinsler family. So again, a great reason to bid on some stuff, some wonderful concept stuff. I mean, you got to just go through the stuff. I really, you have to go through it sort of line by line, because I do think there's some gems in here. And I think a lot of things, I don't know if they're going to slip through, but I do think there's an opportunity here both to get something great, but also to maybe find something where people are paying a little less attention in the back end here.
Yes, agreed.
It just seems like that's happening a little bit. We're doing our best right now, and it's a little hard just even here in this listing. There's so
much stuff. We finished with lot 1883, which is a set.
I am going to throw
everybody?
out. Wait! Before you get to 1883, I just want to throw this one out. 1868, just because again, there's some real incredible gems in here. They've got this dark crystal photo book screener. Anyway, that's cool. A good one. There's the Life Aquatic stop motion crew plaque. That's something I hadn't seen before. 75 is a John Williams hand autographed promotional copy of the soundtrack. It says "Best wishes, John Williams." I mean, these are some really neat things in here that are just kind of buried. But finally, dare I say, go ahead, 1883, page 600, page 627.
They saved the very best for last. It's a set of 10 main cast autograph photos from X-Men 2, X-Men United, 2003.
That seems like something
estimate
perhaps
$800 to $1,200.
Something maybe somebody got at like Comic-Con and has put into this auction, but that's okay. That's collection. Your chance to grab it right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to pass out. I know this is less time than we spent on episode 1, but I feel like, I don't know.
It does feel more exhausting.
My heart is beating. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That was
cool. Well done.
Yes. Yeah. Well, this is going to be some auction. And I think before this season or this little grouping of our show ends, I think we're going to try for one more episode. And it's going to be a sort of a follow-up to these episodes about the catalog. And we're going to kind of deep dive a little bit on sort of, we've never really done this. You kind of know what we've talked about, like the pieces that Ryan and I are interested in, but I think we're going to deep dive a little bit on the two pieces that we are most interested in, and how we are thinking about it and what we're doing to sort of lay track a little bit and kind of debate and argue a whole bunch, because I have a lot of
Yeah.
concerns about certainly the piece I'm interested in. And I think you're a
Yeah.
little nervous about where the piece you're interested in might go as well. Dara, am I allowed to
Yeah.
say that? Would you,
Yeah.
is that agreeable? So come back for one more episode this season where we sort of give you a little more about how we go about sort of collecting and maybe even
Planning.
selling
Yeah.
and selling and planning and collecting, which I think will be very interesting, or at least I hope it'll be very interesting. Oh my God, I'm winded. Should we play the game? I can't even think. What can we play the game
Yeah.
about?
Let's play the game.
What jumped out at you? The movie Priest?
Yeah.
What do you most want from Priest?
Priest. Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
what was a surprise in there? I'm trying to think.
Just because it came up,
yeah.
And we've talked about. I saw Beetlejuice before, and I was like, oh, because I really wanted a piece from Beetlejuice. But we've talked about. I think we've talked about Beetlejuice.
I think we've
before.
done Beetlejuice.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
What about the Crow? Should we do the Crow?
Oh God, I'm not sure I can do the Crow, but okay, go do the Crow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or Dark City. Dark City?
I think I could do Dark City because I love Dark City.
Okay. Yeah. Let's talk Dark City. Love that film.
Dark City, I've only seen a couple of odds and ends out there. I have not seen much of anything, I gotta say.
Dark City, The Blade, and Matrix all came out within like 18 months of each other. And they're just this delightful, like 90s, like late 90s goth, heavy metal companion soundtrack album thing, and I don't know, it just really brings me back to that period in particular.
They coalesced around a very specific vision of everybody in leather jackets.
Yes, correct. Yeah, the future was black leather dusters,
leather long dusters, in a way that we have not worn them in a very long time.
They're coming back though, Dave.
Yeah, very specific vision of the future. I love that movie because, and again, I think The Matrix in certain ways maybe overshadowed it, and maybe that's a tough one. I love The Matrix, and obviously Matrix changed filmmaking in so many different ways, but maybe it's more pleasing at the end of the day. It's more pleasing.
I think so. It's more accessible, and it definitely has that heroes versus villains thing.
Yes.
Whereas Dark City is this little, it's like a short story that would have been published in like Omni magazine. It's deeply
it feels like something
like
he wrote 2 stories and then died of a heroin overdose kind of short story, and like Amazing Stories from like 1943. It's really wonderful, and it does have all of that in there because it's combinations of the future and the past are just so fascinating to me. And
I love the production design in that movie. It's like a future noir set in a future 1940s where like the design sensibility never changed, but the technology did, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's like there, but at the same time, it's not steampunk, which is a fallback. It's not exactly steampunk. Yeah, it's its own thing in a really wonderful way. And it's funny, you mentioned production design because I don't know specifically the piece, but I would make the argument that there is a piece of Dark City production design that might be my dream piece from Dark City, which I realize is not a prop per se, but I just love the way that movie looks so much that would definitely be, I guess I'll simply say, high on my list. I also just love the way, Kiefer
Sutherland.
Sutherland. Sorry, Jesus, Kiefer Sutherland. His whole costume is
wonderful.
Just fantastic. And I am not people who have listened to the show, I'm not a costume guy, but boy, that could be very much up there for me. That would just be
agreed.
Kind of perfect for me. Yeah. So I'm going to go Kiefer Sutherland. Yeah. But go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, that is a great piece. I mean, I go to the thing that I think you have to go to, which is the tuning devices, which are just
sort of vaguely avoiding it, but yes, you're right.
They're custom built. And I mean, we do have to call them out. I mean, I go to production artwork and things like that because the production design is so beautiful. But I mean, I think, the go-to, the have to have prop from that is is the tuning syringe or the medical kit that they use to,
After Ryan
to
calls dibs on that, and there's only one, and I can't win it, I'm gonna bid on.
Has one of those ever come up?
Never seen one.
Have you ever seen?
Never seen one. Yeah.
I wonder if all that stuff kind of lives in Australia. Because that's where that's where it was filmed and stuff tends not to leave. Like all the Mad Max stuff
to
is still
sort of
living there.
write that email where it's just like, hey, long time no speak, Alex.
Yeah.
Just wondering,
what do you have?
Those?
From... Yeah. Maybe we could do that as an episode.
Where we just call him. We just dial him just live. Hi, you're on the air.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's an incredible piece, and God, such a good movie, such an underrated movie. God,
really cool. If you guys haven't seen, that's definitely on the Stuff Dreams Are Made Of movie club list. Definitely go check that one out.
Yeah.
Well, I feel pretty good about this adventure, Dave. Do you?
Yeah. I mean, I
you
definitely
okay?
circled. I circled a couple of things. I'm sort of thinking where I am. I circled a couple of things.
Yeah.
It's interesting, I think in the previous prop stores, I've perhaps maybe found more things I quote unquote had to have in day 2 and 3 and maybe 4 than in this one.
Yes.
But definitely some interesting things and a couple of things that I will be circling for myself. Again, I'm now I'm getting rid of everybody, the listeners. I think there's a lot of really incredible stuff in there. For me, maybe only maybe a fewer, and maybe that's not a bad thing for once. So I'm okay with that, So, yeah. I'm just thinking for me.
I think
anything catching your eye incredibly?
Definitely thinking about that Beetlejuice, the sandworm sculpture, because I'd love to have something from that film that's just an easy little thing. A couple of the scripts, definitely popped out to me. That Empire's First Draft, just interesting piece of ephemera. The treatment that was next to it was also interesting. I really liked the Tim Burton drawing, the Nightmare Before Christmas drawing
was really nice.
Thinking about, because I've always wanted something from Nightmare, and that's just so distinctly Burton that I kind of love that piece. I liked the Aliens storyboards, honestly, the hand-drawn storyboards.
Yes.
And some of the
Batman, by the way, those Batman storyboards. Yes, we should look back at those, because I could grab one of those if you were interested.
Definitely flag. I mean, those are just off.
I have to go. Advice. We take our own advice and we split a lot. That could be very fun.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah, that'd be fun. I have to go back and through this massive catalog.
This is where we've been going
but...
off of our PDF catalog that they sent us sort of before, and now I guess the print catalogs have arrived. So hopefully you've got your print catalog. But this is where you really want to go online and kind of zoom in on stuff and really perhaps even ask for more pictures or ask for further information. That's the fun. They will help you. Yeah.
They sent mine to my U.S. address, so I actually have to bug.
Perfect.
I have to bug the guys out here to give me a hard copy in London so I can page through it.
I will tell you, because I saw they had the hard copies, and then they've done a special separate second little mini booklet just on the X-Wing, and win, lose, or draw, that X-Wing catalog is something I will keep forever, just because it's so well done. And actually, Wade LaJose, my buddy Wade, who one of the co-writers of the Macquarie book with me and Brandon, did the designs on that. He did the layout and did the designs for it, and it's great. I wish it were a hardcover. I'm going to put it right on my shelf, because it's just so great, because it gets into so much detail about the process of those pyro models. It's just fantastic. It's a lesson on Star Wars unto itself, along with showing you where that was used and everything. So in a great way. So
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's
all righty.
Great.
Well, please.
We'll talk more about that piece next week.
Yes,
I think.
Exactly. We're going to talk a whole bunch more about that, and we're going to kind of get into like pre-auction, both prep, but also I've got a lot of questions, because I'm not going to lie. This is our cliffhanger. It's sort of like, we've joked about it. I've claimed it and all those things. This is going to go crazy. And what does that mean, and how crazy, and what am I prepared to do, and what should I be prepared to do, and where does it stop being fun? And I have a lot of, I really, it's sort of, this is honestly, this is going to be closer than perhaps anything else we've ever done to you and me just sort of talking, only we're going to talk on the air. So, that's the easiest way I can say it. Because I'm a little both worried, freaked out, and confused. So that's more to come.
All good pre-auction emotions,
exactly.
Dave, to talk about. But looking forward to it. This will be a fun one.
But please follow us on all social media at Props Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Please also, you can watch this on our YouTube channel and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yep.
And please, wherever you're listening to your podcast, be it Spotify, Apple, or somewhere else, please subscribe to us and rate us 5 stars, and tell a friend about us, and email us with any questions. Email us, tell us what you're going after in this auction. And what's our email, Ryan?
dreamsaremadepodcast@gmail.com.
At gmail.com. I'm going to start to remember that part, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
that's good. That's a good start. It's a fun start.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next week.